intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2 9 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here without your co-host, Ash, the reptilian. But he's okay. No abductions. For now. Ash is out. He had a transitionary thing. He's moving to a nicer place on Mars, and so we have internet trouble. So he was here, prepared, wanted to say hi. He's probably going to be the stream here, hopefully. Hi, Ash, if you're out there. Thanks for being here. Technology doesn't always do its thing, does it? But anyway, so we're doing this anyway, and Troubled Minds. Troubled Minds Radio. What is this about? This show is about all of the things we're not supposed to talk about, of course, which would be we watch the propaganda of the 24-hour news cycle. We watch the technocracy and how they limit access by pushing important things to the bottom of the index. We watch the government for the lies they tell us. And we watch major corporations for, well, you know, I don't have to tell you, for all the dirty shit that they do. There's lots of people out there, lots of things that make you have a troubled mind. And so that's what the show's about. All those things that the 24-hour news cycle won't touch, but we touch it anyway. We talk about those things because we think they're important, because people are more important than corporations. And, defy me on that. I'd love to hear it. Tonight, what we have on deck, we've been promising a end of the world type show. Not like we do the shows so good or so bad that the world ends, but a show on the topic of the end of the world. So we're gonna touch on some of that and some of the prophecies. We dodged a little bit of the Nostradamus and the Edgar Cayce because it's been done a lot. So we got a list of some stuff that we'll go through, and there's something mind-blowing at the end. So we're going to talk about that. And per usual, what we'll do, if you're new here, we'll do some news, which is just kind of some random topics. And then we'll get into the topic at hand, which will be the end of the world, and in a troubled minds way. So there we go. So we'll do some news, and I failed to mention the show's live. So if you want to be a part of the show tonight, we do it live so we can include you. So we will read chat as we go. So if you want to leave some good choice chat bits. Comedy is always good. Show contribution is always good. But go ahead and we'll read as much chat as we can as we go. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube and Mixer and Periscope and DLive and you name it, Twitch, the whole deal. Did I say Twitch? But anyway, yeah. So that's the thing. And if you do want to be part of the show the other way, aside from chat, call. You can call in 702-957-1037. That's the name of, or that's the phone number. It's a Las Vegas area code, and you can find that phone number at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And you can also join the show using Discord. So the Discord link is also on Troubled Minds, and it's right there in the chat in the stream as well. And that's what's up. That's what the show's about, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So it's the end of the world. So if you guys have any hot takes on the end of the world, of course, love to hear it. Love to hear it. And so we'll get into some of that. But for right now, we're going to do some shout-outs. We'll do some shout-outs, and let's see. Let's go to YouTube first. What's up? Dan from SoCal, how you doing, buddy? You gets first on YouTube and first overall. Cedric gets a close second on YouTube. And Emin, fantastical. How you doing? Thanks for being here, guys. We get Todd gets first on Facebook. How are you tonight? Fred, close second. We got Chad. How you doing? The Chad made it. Emin also on Facebook. Emin's the super fan. He's got to listen in 3 different places. John, ready for the weird. What's up, man? Thanks for showing up. Eric from Pittsburgh. How are you? Let's see. John says Ash is transitioning. Yes, no, to a new home, not to Ashley. Nice try though. Darius Moo, how you doing, buddy? Southeast Kentucky, Anvil. How you doing? Thanks for showing up. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for being here. We got John. People that call are definitely troubled. Hey, man, you call because we want to hear somebody who's not troubled. If you got good takes, hot takes, whatever, you just want to say hi, show feedback. It's called transparency. 702-957-1037. You can be on the show and talk to me and get your voice heard to whoever's out there listening, because you never know who's listening, right? You just never know who's out there listening. So definitely worth it. What's up, Philip from Southern Oregon? He's here coming in a bit. Was doing some blazing with my laser. All right, blazing lasers. Here we go. All right. So let's do this. It's end of the world night, and that's what we're gonna do. We'll get to that in just a second. But for right now, there's your phone number if you want to join the show. We're gonna talk about some news. We're gonna talk about some news first, which is this. Let's start with one of our favorite sources, propaganda style or non-propaganda style. Depends on how you want to look at it, your worldview, I guess. But we're going to start with CNN and a couple more shout-outs. So what's up, Larry? It's alive. Thanks for showing up. Steven, Super Earth. Maybe a Super Earth. Let's make it a Super Earth. How about that? Between us, let's just make it a Super Earth. Let's see. Tom, talk about Dulce Base. I'm here. I'm about 1 hour away and need some sky viewing tips. Okay. Not this show. We will do another show. But if you're close and you know some interesting things about Dulce Base, we'd love to know. Do call 702-957-1037. But here's the link we're starting out with tonight. Check this out. Maybe you guys have heard this. Now, this is reported by CNN, of course, one of our favorite news sources, the most trusted source in news, according to Darth Vader. Yeah, right? That's a great yeah, you know what I mean. Like he's taken over the universe, but it's the most trusted source in news. General, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Darth Vader voice. Anyway, okay, so headline reads, oceans are warming at the same rate as if 5 Hiroshima bombs were dropped in every second. Okay, I'm gonna just take my time and let that hang in the air. Okay, oceans are warming at the same rate as if 5 atomic bombs, like they dropped in Hiroshima, however you want to say it. I'm not Japanese, obviously. Were dropped in every second. 5 nuclear bombs were dropped in every second, or atomic bombs, whatever it's called back then. Okay, so think about that. 5 of these gigantic bombs dropped in the ocean every second of the day. That's what they're saying. That's how fast the oceans are warming. Now, does that sound? What does that sound like to you? I saw a funny comment on Twitter about this in particular, and they said, "Wake me up when it's 6 per second." I don't know. What's up, Todd? Beer and tequila here. Yeah, I got to. I'm doing Guinness Blonde tonight. Pretty good stuff. Okay, so the point is that does that sound normal? Does that sound like something that is even possible? So imagine we're just dropping 5 atomic bombs in the ocean every second of the day. 24 hours a day, just dropping atomic bombs in, and that's how fast the ocean is warming, they say. Okay, let's read some of this. So now hitting at the same rate of 5 bombs were dropped in, blah, blah, like I said. A new study released on Monday showed that 2019 was yet another year of record-setting ocean warming, with water temperatures reaching the highest temperature ever recorded. An international team of 14 scientists. I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Examined data going back to the 1950s, looking at temps from the ocean surface to 2,000 meters deep. The study, which was published in the Journal of Advances of Atmospheric Sciences, also showed that the oceans are warming at an increasing speed. All right, so increasing, right? Increasing is one thing, but 5 atomic bombs dropped in the ocean every second of the day, 24. Right? Okay, here we go. So this continues. Let's give them their day in court here, in the troubled minds court of opinion, whatever that is. Okay, while the past decade has been the warmest on record for global ocean temperatures, the hottest 5 years ever recorded all came in the last 5. The upward trend is relentless, yada, yada. Here's a nice graph, of course. Where do we get to the bombs? Okay, so there are no reasonable alternatives aside from the human emissions of heat. Okay, we've talked about this ad nauseum. But so the Hiroshima atomic bomb exploded with an energy of about 63, I don't even know. What's that? Trillion? Is that a trillion? 63 trillion joules. I did a calculation. The amount of heat we have put in the world's oceans in the past 25 years equals 3.6 billion Hiroshima atom bomb explosions. He added. This was who's this from? From Lai Jing Chang, the paper's lead author here. So yeah, that's equivalent to dropping roughly 4 bombs into the oceans every second over the past quarter of a century. Now, do you really think like that if we were literally dropping that many bombs in? I mean, I get it that the ocean's a huge mass, and I don't know that. Call me silly, but it seems like this is clickbait to me. It seems like if we were actually doing that, don't you think the ocean might be a little bit warmer than it was, than it is? I don't know. I like the headline. I just like smacked myself in the face and was like, really? 5 atomic bombs per second over a quarter of a century is how fast the ocean is warming here. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Is this do you think this is let's call, I'm going to label this climate alarmism is what I'm going to say. Again, you know, I'm not a scientist with a fancy degree or any of these things, but doesn't that seem ridiculous to you? Like, how hot do you think the ocean would be if we were dropping 5 atomic bombs in every second for 25 years straight? I don't know. That seems a little bit weird, right? It seems a little bit weird. Let's see. Steven says, underwater volcanoes. Let's go to the chat here. What do you think about this? Again, so I'm taking calls. This is live, 702-957-1037. What do you think about this in particular? Do you think there's something to this? Do you think this is something that is like I said, climate alarmism? Or do you think this is actually the case? Do you think that some guy wrote a paper with his team somewhere, and this is actually the case? If we were dropping 5 atomic bombs in the ocean every second for 25 years, it's the same effect as what we're doing currently. Does that seem right to you? It doesn't seem right to me. It seems impossible to me. But hey, I'm just a knucklehead on the internet with a microphone, right? And this guy's got a team of scientists and a degree, and you know he's got a nice graph here, and 5 atomic bombs per second. Okay, I could read more of this article, but it's just going to piss me off. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm ridiculous here? You think that this is not clickbait? Do you think that what do you think? That's what I want to know. 702-957-1037. There's the phone number. Join the Discord. You can join the show that way as well. Just let me know. Type in chat. You're in Discord waiting, and I'll bring you in. Just join the caller queue there in Discord, and we'll pull you in. Let's see. Chad says, I'm pretty sure it'd be boiling by now. What's up, Chad? I couldn't agree more. Like 5 atomic bombs per second for 25 years dumped in the ocean. And we're somehow supposed to believe that it's the same equivalent effect of what we're doing to the oceans now. Now, again, I'm not anti-conservation. I think we should pull the garbage out. We should do something about the landfills. I think CO2, so we're saying just releasing CO2 into the air is the same as just dropping atom bombs into the ocean. 5 per second, 24 hours a day. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's see. Todd wants to know, why isn't there a big fish kill? I think there are in some cases, some areas of the world. But 5 atomic bombs per second, I don't know. I agree. The ocean would be boiling by now, wouldn't it? At least. Or be like, like a nice warm bath. Anyway, if you think this is whatever and you think I'm wrong, please call 702-957-1037. That's transparency, and I'm open to hearing it. Maybe you're a climate scientist out there. Maybe you study this in school, and you're like, this Michael Strange is a effing moron, and I'm going to school him and teach him that this is a real thing. I want to hear it, please. I want the case to be made. Philip, what's up, says that isn't even possible. The oceans would evaporate within an hour if that was true. The heat put off from them atomic bombs is so hot it completely incinerated people, like turned them to dust. So that's hotter than our sun. If it was going in the ocean, there wouldn't be an ocean left on Earth. Yeah, I agree. Like there's something suspicious about the math, right? Something. Anyway, let's pull this back up. So there we go. So as reported by CNN, if you're just joining us, oceans are warming at the same rate as if 5 atomic bombs were dropped in every second, like they dropped in Hiroshima, however you want to say it. Sherry says animals would be dead. Global warming, maybe a little induction heating. I don't know. Boiling, I think. Steven says, never saw the ocean. No, it was lived in by big lakes. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you live by big lakes. I see. Let's see. Sam, what's up? Super Sam from Jacksonville. How you doing, buddy? Lazy guy. I see you on YouTube there. Come on, everybody. Hit the like on YouTube. Appreciate that. Thank you. Dan says there are actually reports of increased white sharks due to the cooling of the ocean. And that's the thing, right? Now, this is part of the problem. And I think why we do this show. Because every single thing you look at, you can find something that's exactly contradictory to what you're reading, right? And so, like I said, one of our favorite sources here, CNN, 5 atomic bombs dropped in the ocean every second. And it's, like I said, wouldn't we be warm bath by now? I don't know, man. I like something sketchy about the math, if you ask me. Not a mathematician, not a scientist, but I do have a brain, right? I do have a semi-functioning brain. So, really, guys, really, CNN, whoever the hell did this paper, will somebody please fact check this and do a peer research? What's going on? Okay, Dan says, Dan from SoCal. Also, if the ice melting, how did they factor melt rate versus bomb heat? Yeah, I don't know exactly. There's a ton here that's it just doesn't seem to make sense, right? So we can read the paper, but it'll put us all to sleep, I'm sure, because scientific terms and all the rest of this crap. But again, like the propaganda here drives me insane. So it's one thing, like I said, I'm not against saving the Earth. Let's save the Earth. Let's do the right things. Let's do the right things by Mother Nature and by Earth. By the Earth, okay? We do only have one, all right? It's the jewel of the universe as far as I'm concerned. I've said that before, I'll say it again. However, this climate alarmism stuff and these types of clickbait titles, I don't think they do justice to conservationists. I just don't. And it makes the actual people that want to do good for the planet look like clowns, right? It does. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it unless you can convince me otherwise. And I'm open to being convinced, right? This is the thing. Hopefully a thinking mind never is fully made up, okay? You take new evidence, you take new opinions, you take new this, you take new that, you take new propaganda cycles 24 hours a day by day, and you change your mind, right? But again, I don't know. Okay, anyway, there we go. Todd says the Earth heals itself. Which is true, the Gaia hypothesis, which is, yes, self-regulating, all that good stuff, but heals itself from 25 or 5 atom bombs every second? I don't think so. I think no. Steven says, is the water warm, Mr. Super? Yeah, is the water warm in Jacksonville there, Sam? Let us know. Let us know if go put your feet in the water and let us know if it's like bathwater warm. Tom says only one was dropped on Bikini Atoll in the Pacific, and now 70 plus years later, the sea has recovered and is flourishing, but it's still radioactive. Yeah, again, I'm not saying that it's a good thing to be dropping atom bombs. I'm saying that if you dropped 5 a second for 25 years, it would probably be a little bit warmer than it is. Thank you for sharing, Todd. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see. So there we go. I'm going to move on from this. Read a couple more comments. Lazy Guy X says, if that was true, the vapors would cause a block of the sun with clouds, right? Exactly. So there's a ton of actual things at play here, like the radiation, just like Tom mentioned on Facebook there. There's a ton of things that would actually happen and be a problem if this was the case. They're just taking warming temperatures, maybe the transfer of heat from one thing to another. But like I said, the math seems wrong to me. Not a scientist, not a mathematician, but I do have a functioning brain, like I said, halfway functioning. So anyway, what do you guys think? And there we go. So Sam says it's probably freezing this time of year. The ocean. Yeah, right. There you go. All right, let's see. Read some more chat and we'll keep on trucking. Let's see. Dan, how dare you, Mr. Strange? How dare? Yeah, I got to do it. I got it on deck. Right? How dare I doubt the whatchamacallits? How dare I doubt the scientists that tell us that there are atom bombs falling into the ocean 5 per second?
How dare you?
Yeah, I know, right? How dare I? Like, I'm not smart enough to question scientists, and that's it. That's the bottom line, right? That's the bottom line. What's up, guys? Thanks for showing up. Hey, Penny from the UK. How are you? Appreciate you coming. Okay, let's go. Here we go. We're gonna keep on going. Sam says no one goes to the beach in Jacksonville in January. Yeah, no, like in the wintertime, few people go to the beach. That's just the fact of life. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we're gonna continue with the news here, and there's the first one, and it pissed me off quite a bit. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to something else here. Let's move on to something a little more happy, a little more exciting, a little more maybe interesting, a little more less clickbaity, and a little more maybe scientific-y. How about that? Yeah, how about that? All right, here we go. We're going to do this then. This is reported by space.com. Excuse me, links in the chat as always. So an Earth-sized planet in the habitable zone. New NASA discovery in one special world. So I did say the Earth is the jewel of the universe. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. So scientists say that the TOI 700D is the newest member of the elite club, where we get the Goldilocks zone, an Earth-sized planet, the habitable zone thing going on, and they just discovered this, which seems amazing, right? So there's billions of planets, there's billions of stars, all these things, right? Like mathematically, you say there's a ton of this stuff, but actually confirmed tons of this stuff, it's still kind of a small slice, okay? And so this article says, as an Earth-sized planet, it's in its star's habitable zone. TOI 700D is a big deal for scientists because we really want to understand the question: could life form on these planets around very small stars? And this kind of a nice big step towards that goal, said Joseph Rodriguez, an astronomer at the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics in Massachusetts. So, continue quote, we're nowhere near it yet, and we're talking probably decades, if not much longer, to answer this question. But we're making steps towards arguably one of the biggest questions in science, which of course is what? Is there life out there? Could there be life on this planet? It's in the right place. It's the right size. It's probably the right temperature. It probably has liquid water, like all these sorts of things. These are the sorts of things that they're talking about. And fine. You got to verify this stuff. Is life there? Fine. Yes, probably, maybe not. But again, just mathematically, there's got to be. There's life out there, right? Come on, we've called it, we've said it tons and tons of times. But anyway, so this is a good discovery because if we find one, we'll find more. If we find a dozen, we'll find 100. We find 100, we'll find 1,000. So this is a good thing. Like we need to be looking out and maybe looking for the next possible step of where we move when we actually move from this solar system. So, like we're gonna colonize space, right? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do this thing. Humans are gonna be that guy, that celestial guy or gal, as the case may be. But yeah, so this is good stuff. So what do you guys think? Good, bad, indifferent, whatever? Like more propaganda science or more actual science? Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? You'd have to see the full releases of everything to really know. But yeah, for now, whatever. Okay, so there we go. There's that one, space.com. And we'll move on to this next one. Get out of space for a second here and go right back to planet Earth. Planet Earth. Let's see. All right, we got some chat to read here. All right, so this one's reported by, I'm going to paste it in here, cnet.com. And I don't know if you guys saw this. Every year there's a technology conference in Las Vegas. Is it CES, I believe, the Consumer Electronics Show. Yes, I believe that's it. And so traffic was shit down there, just FYI, when CES was here, because it brought a lot of people, which is fine. That's cool. But I was there in the area, not at the show itself. But check this out. So at CES, at this Consumer Electronics Show, CNET reports Samsung's new Neon project is finally unveiled. It's a humanoid AI chatbot. Now, did you guys hear about this? It's an AI chatbot. Remember the last chatbot that was made by Microsoft? Yeah. All right. Here we go. There's the article. So we'll talk about this in a sec. So back to the original AI chatbot. There was an internet chatbot, right? So you would you would be able to interact with people, and of course, instantly it had its own Twitter account. I can't remember the name of this thing, but it was famous, right? It was famous very quickly. And famous for the trolls because it was interacting, it was learning from people, and of course the trolls went right after it and they started teaching it that the Nazis were right and things like this, right? And like just the most unbelievable amount of stupid human garbage you could pour into AI and have it machine learn humanity. And before long, it was a day or two, and this thing was spitting out tweets that said Hitler was right and things like this. And it's, that in itself is not funny. Hitler was right because he clearly was not right, except this AI robot was saying this on the internet. And so they had to take it down. It was like, oh shit, abort, unplug. This thing's saying crazy shit already, right? So there we go. So there was the first chatbot. That was a Microsoft chatbot. I can't remember the name because it's, barely relevant. You can look it up. I'm not lying. All right, so here we go. Now this is another one. Now these are Samsung's new Neon project, and it's a humanoid AI chatbot. All right, like I said, does it ring a bell to that? Harken back to the days of yore. All right, so these realistic chatbots are not meant to replace humans, but to make us more human. Just don't ask them the weather forecast, and that's a joke here. Okay, so this is a mysterious company in Neon, and they make video chatbots that act and look like real people. And if you see the images here, they are kind of AI people, right, on a screen, right? These aren't holograms, these aren't androids, it's nothing like that. It's like AI people on a screen, and you're able to talk to them, right? So they look real, they speak, they mannerisms, hand gestures, the whole deal, right? That's what's going on with this. So now this company, Neon, makes video chatbots that look and act like real people. Neons aren't all-knowing smart assistants. Androids, surrogates, or copies of real humans, the company said. They can't tell you the weather or how old Abraham Lincoln was when he died. So they're not plugged into like Wikipedia, and they won't spit out, like they're actually machine learning and programmed with some sort of, let's say, what would you say? Programmed with personalities, with AI personalities, and they're meant to learn from people. So anyway, this is a little bit weird, right? So this is not an AI chatbot that has its own Twitter account, but they're trying to say in the near future that this will be it will be custom to you, because it will learn your behavior, and it will adapt itself to you and be able to be an assistant in those areas of your life, right? So, I'm not sure how big a screen this is or any of the rest of this stuff or what's going on with this, but a little bit creepy. Let's watch this. Do we have a video here? No video. Okay, but here we go. Here's a couple of pictures. I did link it if you guys want to check it out and see what these actual, quote, people look like, the chat bots. But they can program to look like whatever they want, and yeah. There we go. So here we go. So the Neon's lifelike appearance raises questions about whether the technology could be used for deep fakes or videos manipulated to show real people doing or saying something they didn't, which we've talked about quite a lot, right? So you just program in there Michael Strange's face. You take all his words on the internet that he said on his show. You create an exact, perfect replica of his fake voice, and you make him say some ridiculous shit, right? Yeah, that's deep fakes for you. So anyway, interesting. I thought this was of note. This was kind of mysterious. They just announced this, and there's no real world applications yet, as far as I'm aware, but they're trying to build them in. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, we'll go to the chat, and again, on deck tonight, we're going to talk about Doomsday and the end of the world, and maybe some takes on that. Why those takes failed, and we'll get there in a sec. Got a few more news articles to look at, but let's see what you have to say in the chat. Let's see. Larry, what's up, says DEWs fired in the ocean. Directed energy weapons, he means. Combined with geoengineering and HARP, hurricanes can be made to order. We might be pressurized to shell out the climate cash, right? Now, that's a really big conspiracy there. You're saying geoengineering, the governments are behind it. They're actually heating up the earth, or heating up the oceans with directed energy weapons so that we can, usher in the Green New Deal, right? Yeah, okay. Todd, what's up? Let's see. My wife has accepted that this show is great. Hey, man, kicking and screaming if we have to. Appreciate that. Let's see. Sam, everything on the internet is true. Didn't you all know? Yeah, clearly, right? And clearly, including me. I'm on the internet, so everything I say is true. Wink, wink. All right. Steven says that there's a planet that rains crystals. Yeah, I've heard that. And a diamond planet and all kinds of crazy stuff. John says for the AI bot that learned from watching a bunch of Barbara shows ended up going insane. I believe that. I believe that. And Tom says, it sounds annoying. Give it another decade. Yeah, I think so, right? We have some problems here with AI. And, because people, this is the problem, right? Robots are one thing, but people program robots. Has anybody seen The Mandalorian? All right, I'm not going to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, see it. And there you go. There's a perfect example of robots. Robots, right? And they only do what they're programmed to do. And there's a perfect example in there. So just FYI, good stuff. If you haven't seen it, pretty good. There's some, gross plot holes, but whatever. Okay, there we go. Let's see what else. Let's see. Lazy Guy X says that's what Frank was, an AI robot. And you know what? He probably escaped onto the internet, didn't he? So he's probably like, maybe he's hacking all of us as we speak. That could be. Cedric says this is how you get Skynet. And yeah, right, exactly. So you have these virtual assistants that tailor their personalities to you. They learn your likes and dislikes, and then what? And then what do you do? Yeah. It's like we've taken spyware to the next level, right? Do you take them in and chat with them when you're on the toilet? Is that what happens now? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What's up? Lazy Guy X is a sex bot. Okay. All right. Maybe we get there and it's really, really good. Who knows? Dan from SoCal says, I tried to warn Frank, listen to the podcast of Stardust Ranch, and at minute like 52:30, you can hear an alien via EVP in Frank's place. All right. Maybe they're after Frank. There you go. Maybe they're after, who knows? Again, if anybody knows Frank or knows that he has or hasn't disappeared, he's gone. I don't know. I don't think he's in danger, but he's not in contact, that's for sure. So there we go. There's the update on Frank, which is no update. So there we go. Okay, let's see. Johnson, what's up on YouTube says, what about Johnny Number 5, Short Circuit? Remember that? That was a good show. That was a good movie. I mean, like Number 5 is alive. Remember that? Yeah, it was a great rhyme. Penny says Skynet is already here, and I think in many cases you're correct. And it's from all the usual suspects. That would be Facebook, that'd be Twitter, that would be YouTube, that would be Google. Yeah. Lazy Guy X. They already have emotionless robots working at the DMV. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. Are you saying the people that work at the DMV are either AI or maybe reptilians with no emotional capacity? Yes. Ash the Reptilian is out tonight, Penny, because he's internet troubles. He's in transition, place wise, not gender-wise, just FYI. Somebody made a joke. Okay, all right. So we're going to keep on moving here. But so there we go. We have Samsung has a new Neon project, right? Different than Project Neon, because that's probably a different thing. But the humanoid AI chat bot, and it's coming. Come and do a smartphone near you, or a smart device near you, maybe your television, maybe a smart home near you with 5G, right? So who knows? Like, this is the type of thing that's a little bit terrifying, because they have to learn every single thing about you, and that's how they adapt and become your own personal assistant, right? It's like having a friend in your pocket. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so let's keep on trucking here. We got more news, and we're going to get to the end of the world soon. Not the actual end of the world, just, commentary on the end of the world. All right, here we go. So this one's reported by The Guardian, one of my favorites, who's always spamming me to support their website. Like we have let's see, they have a fundraising goal. Let's check it out at the bottom. Let's see. Thank you for supporting support The Guardian for as little as $1. It only take blah blah. That's spam. The support. Okay, here we go. So support The Guardian. Reported by The Guardian. Fresh Cambridge Analytica leak shows global manipulation is out of control. Does everybody remember Cambridge Analytica? And so this was a company that actually got into the back end of Facebook with some sort of permission. Facebook says that they were taking advantage of the back end, and they weren't supposed to do this with their app and the different things they were doing, but they were able to somehow, and they say now they were supposed to have done election manipulation, right? Yeah, let's read some of this. And so this is the thing, right? So it's okay for the media 24/7 to manipulate the elections, and they do it, right? They do it across borders. They do it across the ocean. They do it everywhere. They just do it. So they can do it, and it's fine. But if any private enterprise tries to do it, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying, oh shit! I tell you what, the press comes down on you like crazy, right? Because of course, you're moving into their game. They don't like that. But anyway, here we go. So an explosive leak of tens of thousands of documents from a defunct data firm, Cambridge Analytica, is set to expose the inner workings of the company that collapsed after the Observer revealed it had misappropriated 87 million Facebook profiles. 87 million. Misappropriated, right? More than 100,000 documents relating to work in 68 countries that will lay bare the global infrastructure of an operation used to manipulate voters on an industrial scale are set to be released over the next months. And that sounds fun, doesn't it? We're going to keep an eye on that and see what that looks like. But this is brand new. This is reported. This is new news reported January 4th, 2020. So this is happening. This is going to start rolling out, and we'll see what's happening here. So the release of the documents began on New Year's Day on an anonymous account at Hindsight Files. And yeah. So let's see. Kaiser, who is, Brittany Kaiser, an ex-Cambridge Analytica employee, who's right there in the photograph, starred in the Oscar shortlisted Netflix documentary, The Great Hack. If anybody's seen that, I haven't seen it. Netflix documentary, The Great Hack. It decided to go public after last month's election in Britain. It's, quote, "It's so abundantly clear our electoral systems are wide open to abuse," she said. "I'm very fearful about what is going on to happen in the U.S. election later this year, and I think one of the few ways of protecting ourselves is to get as much information out there as possible." Here we go. We got a whistleblower. We had somebody that worked for Cambridge Analytica, and she's got internal documents that came from hard drives, that came from email servers, that came from all these places, and we're going to see this: 100,000 documents, 68 countries. Worldwide election tampering, and it's all good, right? It's all good. It's nobody's mad except the mainstream media. They're pissed, right? Okay, here we go. So there are emails between major Trump donors discussing ways of obscuring the source of their donations through a series of different financial vehicles. These documents expose the entire dark money machinery behind U.S. politics. The same machinery, she says, was deployed in other countries that Cambridge Analytica worked in, including, she claims, Britain. Oh, Britain. We love you, Britain. Okay, so here we go. So this ends this, and we'll move on. We got a couple more, and we'll get to the end of the world tonight. Emma Bryant, an academic at Bard College, New York, who specializes in investigating propaganda. Check that out. She specializes in investigating propaganda. I think maybe I specialize in investigating. Don't we? Isn't that what we do, guys? That's what we do. Now, come on. Get out of here. Anyway, so she specializes in investigating propaganda and has had access to some of the documents for research, saying that what's been revealed is the tip of the iceberg. Quote, "The documents reveal a much clearer idea of what actually happened in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, which has a huge bearing on what will happen in 2020. It's the same people involved who we know are building on these same techniques," she says. Oh, I wonder who that can be. I wonder who that is, guys. What do you think? Who do you think is behind the election interferences that are happening worldwide? What do you think? Who do you think is behind that? Is that the Illuminati, right? Is that the deep state? Is that the shadow government? What is that? Yeah, they're all donate to each other. It's not the... Yeah, these companies, these private companies are all linked. They're all linked, one way or the other, right? Right back to the source, which would be what? The government. The governments that are basically, somehow, some way, manipulating elections. And like I said, it's cool when they do it. It's just not cool when we do it. And I'm not saying Cambridge Analytica is us, or we should back them. I'm just saying, like, us having a conversation is manipulating an election, right? How dare us? How dare us? Where's Greta when you need her? Okay, let's see. Chris says, "My app must be messed up. I'm not seeing everyone's post." Yeah, Facebook is weird sometimes with the chat. Darius, what's up? How you doing, man? Thanks for showing up. Says, well, certain robots learn as they go. Probably depends on what it's programmed for. Yeah, that's back to the AI bots there. What's up, Tamron? Thanks for showing up. Good morning. All right, let's see. More chat here. More chat on YouTube is lively tonight. Emin says, "You usually hear it first in Hollywood before real life. One have to do with thought manifestation, and another is to filter panic or outrage." And that sounds pretty good stuff. Penny says, "I did a video on Facebook, didn't I, Emin?" Yeah. Join Penny Bunny's channel if anybody hasn't on YouTube yet. Please go. Please do. Do not delay. Dan from SoCal. Whoa, got to protect your back end, people. Yeah, exactly. The Facebook back end. Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. We're going to move on. We're going to keep on trucking. We got some stuff to get to, including the end of the world. All right, so here's another one. This kind of goes back to my entire point about the climate. What is this? Climate catastrophe, climate alarmism. And Yeah, here it is. We're going to do this real quick because I already talked about this tonight, and I hate to do it twice. Reported by the New York Times. Quote, headline reads, to fight climate change, one city may ban heating homes with natural gas. Seeking to do their part to avert climate change, dozens of cities are exploring ways to limit natural gas heating in new homes. One city may also require existing homeowners to make a switch. Yeah, you like your natural gas heater, guys? Yeah, the nice fireplace you might have installed? No, gone. Anyway, there we go. Gone. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Sherry says, probably me. I seem to be behind everyone. What are you, like, looking over everybody's shoulder, like in a creepy way? Or the chat? Yeah, the chat's slow. Yeah, no co-host tonight. Okay, internet troubles is what's happened with Ash. Okay, so here we go. So one more, and we're gonna get this, and this leads us to the conversation at the end of tonight. Check this out. This leads us to the conversation at the end, and this is reported by ScienceAlert.com. Let's do some science. Let's do some science, guys. What do you think? Yeah, let's do some science. All right, we'll skip the propaganda, go straight to the science. Okay, headline: Scientists find evidence a strange group of quantum particles are basically immortal. Immortal, not mortal. One more time. Scientists find evidence a strange group of quantum particles are basically immortal. Yeah. Nothing lasts forever. Humans, planets, stars, galaxies, maybe even the universe itself. Everything has an expiration date, but things in the quantum realm don't always follow the rules. Scientists have found that quasi-particles in quantum systems could be effectively immortal. How does that make you feel? That doesn't mean they don't decay, which is reassuring, but once these quasi-particles have decayed, they're able to reorganize themselves back into existence, possibly ad infinitum, which is forever and ever and ever. That seemingly flies in the face of the second law of thermodynamics, which is entropy, of course, which asserts that entropy in an isolated system can only move in an increasing direction. Things can break down, not build up again. Oh boy, quantum immortality. Which we're going to get to tonight. Actual quantum immortality. We're going to talk about that and how maybe that applies to the end of the world itself. Yeah. Anyway, so there's the links. There's our news for tonight. And again, this is live. If you want to be part of the show tonight, do call 702-957-1037. And there's the phone number. You can join the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org. You can find both. And yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the end of the world. What say you? Let's read the chat real quick. What's up, Ash? Thanks for being here. There you go. See, Ash is in the chat. There he is. What's up, Em? And you should co-host, Tam. Yeah, agreed. Whatever. As always, this is open source show, and you guys all of you can be on the show. Not at the same time, of course. We'll coordinate, but yes, you guys can all be on the show. So don't worry. We'll do that. Let me know. Join the Discord, and we can arrange a show, and you can be on the show. And we can talk about the things that you want to talk about. Mark says, what's up, Mark? Thanks for showing up. There are some jellyfish that are immortal, he says. Yeah, and what about those, remember the water bears that they dropped on the moon? Like, they say they're nearly immortal. Like, there's things that kind of defy death in normal human terms. So, yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going not those things specifically, but we'll get to quantum immortality in a bit here. Okay, let's see. Tamara says, Avengers Endgame showed this with Ant-Man, and I'm too shy to co-host. That's all right. You got me. I'll help. We'll help. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's go. Let's do this. So, end of the world. Right. We're going to do end of the world tonight. So, this in particular, we're going to start with this. Now, this is from belief. Well, shit. I can't say it. BeliefNet.com. See, they snuck the net in there and screws me up. BeliefNet.com. Link in it so you guys can check it out. Follow along if you prefer, or not click if you prefer. Whatever. It's there. If you guys want to see it, it's there. There we go. Let's see. Philip says, did you guys know space is not an empty void? They have found a grease-like blob material that collects and sometimes falls to Earth from space. I did read something about that. We can talk about that in a future show. But yeah, I did read something about that. Okay, so here we go. BeliefNet.com. Why apocalypse predictions always fail. A dive into scripture shows us why we can never know when the end will come. All right, here we go. So this is a pretty good story. I thought this was worth highlighting and reading. In 1806, a hen in Leeds, England, began laying eggs inscribed with the words, Christ is coming. Right? 1806, a hen starts laying eggs, and they say Christ is coming on these eggs. When news of these miraculous egg laying spread, many people became convinced that doomsday was at hand and that the world, as they knew it, was about to pass away. Eventually, someone discovered that a jokester had been inscribing the hen's eggs with acidic ink and reinserting them. Yeah, doomsday wasn't coming after all. Yeah, so these are the types of things, right? Like Jesus and the toast, right? Like these sorts of things. Like we got hoaxsters, we got what else do we have? We have pareidolia, right? Like actual pareidolia, or are these things from the divine? Who knows? This is why we talk about this stuff. Who knows? I'm going to take a drink of beer. Let's let Microsoft Mike read a little bit of this article. So a hen, 1806, laying eggs that say Christ is coming. This continues here. Let's get him. Get him, Microsoft Mike.
As ridiculous as this, very true, story sounds, we've been falling for the same scenario for thousands of years. Except, in place of an egg, we've looked at comets, visions, UFOs, enigmatic numerology, and a host of other equally arbitrary signs. The human brain is made to recognize patterns. It is, quite literally, the best pattern finder in the known universe. Sometimes, however, this works to our detriment. In our search for higher meaning, sometimes we see patterns that aren't really there. We latch onto a meaningless event, a rogue thought, the movements of a celestial body, or perhaps a chance encounter with an oddly shaped egg.
And there you go. So Microsoft Mike in this article thinks that this is a bunch of horse shit, let's say, hooey, a bunch of BS, because the human brain finds these patterns and tries to make apocalyptic apocalyptic predictions, and they are from just a bunch of nonsensical data points, right? And so we can put these patterns together, and yeah, there we go. Okay, so this goes on to say why Christians love the end. I'm not going to read some of this because it's kind of derogatory to Christians, and I think that's rude. BeliefNet.com. But here we go. So why predictions fail. If we take the Bible as the infallible word of God, the failure of end times predictions comes down to one thing: a lack of discernment. The article says. What does this mean? It means careless readings of Scripture. It means assumptions and presuppositions. They always result in error. Scripture gives us a glimpse of what the end of the world will look like. Things will get bad. There will be war. Natural disasters and disease will sweep the earth. But one thing it doesn't give us is the very thing we seek so fervently: the expiration date. That's a well-written article. I like people that can write. Nice job, BeliefNet.com. Okay, and then it ends. At least it ends as far as we're concerned. In fact, the Bible teaches that no one except for God knows when the world will come to an end. Mark 13:32 tells us, quote, "But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." End quote. If Jesus himself doesn't know, the article continues, then neither do we humans. But we sure keep trying to and go on about the holy eggs and astrological signs and Jesus' face and a piece of toast. There we go. Man, it's like I read this article already, right? Sometimes an egg is just an egg. End times predictions fail because, according to God, there are no signs to read. We should exercise discernment by avoiding the assumption that alleged signs mean anything, especially when the very word of God has revealed them as falsehoods. Okay, there we go. So this article says that this is why we fail. And so then rather than trying, and I like this is the very end. It continues. Again, well-written articles. It's hard to argue with well-written stuff because it's good, right? All right, here we go. Rather than trying and failing to control your life by grasping at doomsday predictions, embrace the unknown. Embrace God's promise of a new beginning. So why not change the narrative? Predict impending hope, love, and beauty. This is one prediction that won't fail. Bam! How good is that? Man, I tell you what, well-written stuff. It's so rare today, isn't it? Anyway, great article. Check it out. But they're telling us that this is why don't we predict hope instead of apocalyptic endings? Why don't we try and predict hope and love instead? And that's fantastic. I think it's a great article there. They got some stuff in the middle you might want to skip if you're a Christian because they're kind of shitting on you a little bit. But whatever. It's BeliefNet.com. So they talk about that stuff. But anyway, so there we go. So they're saying that these things are just us seeing random patterns, pareidolia, right? The human brain being, what did the article say? The greatest pattern recognizer in the known universe. I think that's a little bit hyperbole, let's say. But okay, so let's go. So let's move on. Let's go to this one. Now, speaking of patterns and apocalyptic signs. See, I said it. Did I say it? I think I said it. All right, here we go. We're going to read chat in a sec, guys. We'll catch up. Starting this narrative here. The end of the world narrative. All right, so here we go. So reported by yahoo.com, linked in the chat. River in Russia mysteriously turns blood red. Ooh, yeah, there's a picture of that. So photos published on Russian social media. This is actually a ways ago, 2018, June 30th, 2018. So photos published on Russian social media appear to show the Daldakan River near the city of Norilsk, my Russian is terrible, flowing vivid burgundy. Russian authorities have yet to establish a reason for the river's unusual appearance, but local people quickly linked it to a giant metals plant upstream. I'll just let that hang in the air. Russian authorities have yet to establish the reason, but the people that live around there are like, no, they're just polluting the shit out of the river. So it continues. Russia's environment ministry said it was investigating a plant leak as the likely cause. Oh, but Russian authorities have yet to establish a reason. Okay, there we go. And so this continues. Norilsk is known as one of the most polluted cities on Earth, built around factories mostly belonging to the vast metals company Norilsk Nickel. Some Norilsk residents wrote in a local social media group that they believe the river's biblical shade is linked to runoff from a nearby smelting plant. Ooh, not so apocalyptic, is it? Or is it? Or is it? See what I did there? All right, so some suggested the color was being produced by wastewater mixed with mineral ore leaking into the river from the Hope Metals plant. Okay, and then so other users posted older photos seeming to show the reservoir a similar color in the area that has large pipes running into it. So the reservoir itself has a similar color. Quote, in winter, the snow's also red, Belikov wrote on the social media group. On one hand, it's beautiful, but on the other hand, it's chemical. Yeah. Dirty, right? There you go. The end of the world? Maybe not the way you think, but you're right. Apocalyptic nonetheless. Maybe just a little bit slower. We're gonna do it the slow, dirty way instead. All right, so there we go. So these are the types of signs, right? And you see this stuff all over the place. It's all over. You can find, if you look, you find it. And so I'm not saying that there's nothing to all of these things. I'm saying that sometimes there are explanations. That's all, right? Sometimes there's not, but sometimes there is. All right, so there we go. So there's why apocalypses predictions fail, and here's an example of a river running red, right? Biblical. The river running red, right? You don't get more biblical than that. All right, so we'll let's go to the chat, and then we'll look at this in a sec, and we'll continue with the narrative here. All right, we're doing the end of the world tonight. So if you have takes on the end of the world, you know what to do. This is live. We do it live for you, so you can contribute, so we can learn from each other, and so there's transparency. Yeah, that's right. If you think I'm full of shit, you can call me right now, 702-957-1037. If you think I missed something, you have anything to add, if you want to talk about any of these things, it's fine. We don't have to be combative. We can be nice to each other. It's fine. It's all good. Do call 702-957-1037, putting up the phone number here, and you can find us there. There you go. And go to troubleminds.org. The phone number is there. That's the official website, troubleminds.org. And the Discord link is there as well. You can join the Discord. And let me know. If anybody's in Discord waiting, just type in the chat, and I'll come get you. Okay, so let's see. Well, yeah, Kelly says, which God? Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, you got to let me have a narrative here, right? We can't divert every time we get to God. We're going to just say whatever God you like. How about that? Tamron, the point being to live a Christian life rather than only asking for forgiveness at the date of revelations. That's true, and that's a great point. Ash, what's up? Says, our brain is designed to look out for threats. Didn't God design our brain? Checkmate. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Good point. All right, here we go. Let's see. Yeah. Johnson, what's up? Says that. Yeah, nuclear waste river. Yeah, exactly. Tom says that mining waste cover up. Yep, which is conspiracy, isn't it? The government officials in that area of the Red River were like, well, we don't know. We're still investigating. But all the people in the area are like, nah, that's the plant upriver. Shit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Dan from SoCal says, the river rigged the election. It's Russian. There you go. There's where the Russian collusion started, in the Red River. There you go. No T-shirts yet. We'll get there, Benny. If you guys are waiting for T-shirts, check out troubleblinds.org. There's a link there for the store, and we'll put them up soon. Let's see. Lazy Guy X. I thought Ozzy was God. Nah, I think he just bit the heads off of bats. Is that a rumor? I don't know. Okay, so anyway, let's continue here. Again, so if you guys want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. I'm going to keep going because we got lots to get to tonight. But if you do want to interject here and talk about the end of the world, what's it we're talking about tonight? End of the world prophecy, and we're talking about how it relates to you and me. Is this one of those things where we believe what the scripture says? Is this one of the things where we believe the red Russian River started the election interference, or maybe the end of times, or do we believe something entirely different? We think this is a bunch of horsehooey. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to continue here. River running red. All right, so let's do this. So I was like, all right, well, everybody's done. You know, when you talk about this type of apocalypse and predictions, it's always Edgar Casey. We did a show on this in the past where we talked about. Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, some of the more famous mediums, right? Like these types of guys. Well, there's other things, right? There's people doing doomsday predictions all the damn time. So this is reported by livescience.com, and this actually goes back to 2009. All right, so here we go. Let's link this, and you guys can check it out. Let's see. Here we go. Putting it in there, and you guys can follow along if you like. But all right, here we go. All right, so this article goes like this. The article goes like this. 10 failed doomsday predictions. It goes back to November 4th, 2009, reported by livescience.com. And let's we can roll through a bunch of these. This was the prophet hen of Leeds, which we talked about in that other one. You know, the chicken laying the egg with Christ is coming written on the eggs. Yeah, hoaxer, right? Not the end of the world, a hoaxer. Here we go. Here's another one. The Millerites, April 23rd, 1843. A New England farmer named William Miller, after several years of very careful study of his Bible, concluded that God's chosen time to destroy the world could be divined from a strict literal interpretation of Scripture. As he explained to anyone who would listen, the world would end sometime between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. He preached and published enough to eventually lead thousands of followers known as Millerites, who decided that the actual date was April 23rd, 1843. So they narrowed it down. One single day, right? Man, let me tell you something. If you're gonna say the end of the world's coming, maybe give yourself a nice healthy spread. One damn day. That's so narrow. Anyway, it continues. Many sold or gave away their possessions, assuming they would not be needed. Though when April 23rd arrived, but Jesus didn't, the group eventually disbanded, some of them forming what is now the Seventh-day Adventists. So there we go. There's one, 1843, the Millerites. And these go on and on and on and on. And where are we on time? Yeah, we can read some more of these. Okay. Let's see. So here we go. Mormon Armageddon, 1891 or earlier. Everybody knows Joseph Smith, the founding Mormon, founder of the Mormon Church, called a meeting of his church leaders in February 1835 to tell them that he had just spoken to God recently. And during their conversation with God, he learned that Jesus would return within the next 56 years, after which the end times would begin promptly. So let's see. 1835, next 56 years, that would put us at, what would that, 90, that'd be about 1901, right? Somewhere in that range. Yeah, something like that. 1890, 1900, somewhere. Okay, no. Well, maybe. Did the end start around 1900? Who knows? We'll get to that. Halley's Comet, 1910. Everybody remember this one? Yeah, this is our nice interstellar visitor, or I guess it's not interstellar, but in the solar system, it kind of comes around not so often, so it's a big deal when it does. All right, so here we go. In 1881, an astronomer discovered through spectral analysis that comet tails include a deadly gas called cyanogen. Cyanogen? What is that? Related, as the name implies, to cyanide. This was of only passing interest until someone realized that Earth would pass through the tail of Halley's Comet in 1910. Would everyone on the planet be bathed in deadly toxic gas? Oh, that was a speculation. But printed in the New York Times, of course, which we hate using the New York Times, at least I do. I'm not going to speak for you guys, the dirty bastards, lying propagandists. But there they go. Back then, the speculation in the New York Times was resulting in a widespread panic across the United States and abroad. Finally, even-headed scientists explained that there was nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Right, so that this is 100 years back, 150 years back. These types of things, right? 1806, the hen in Leeds, the Millerites, the Mormon Armageddon, right? Halley's Comet. No, we got new ones too. Pat Robertson. Everybody remember Pat Robertson? 1982. In May 1980, televangelist and Christian Coalition founder Pat Robertson started and alarmed many when, contrary to Matthew 24:36, which is, quote, "No one knows about the day or hour not even the angels in heaven, which we talked about in the other article there. Pat Robertson informed his 700 Club TV show. Everybody remember that? My grandma used to watch that. 700 Club TV show audience around the world that he knew when the world would end. I guarantee you, by the end of 1982, there was going to be a judgment on the world, Robertson said. 1982. That was a good year. That's a good year. What's up, Kane? Thanks for showing up. I see you there. Okay. Who am I missing? Okay, I'm gonna drink some beer. We're gonna do let's see, Heaven's Gate. I got Heaven's Gate here. Let's do Heaven's Gate. And we got Nostradamus. We'll read a couple more of these. How are we time wise? Okay, we're good. We got plenty of time. Okay, so here we go. Heaven's Gate. Here we go. Here's one. Heaven's Gate, 1997. This was again not just around Halley's Comet. This is Comet Hale-Bopp. You guys remember this? There we go. Let's let Microsoft Mike read this. I'm going to pour a beer, and we'll keep on trucking. So this is another Doomsday prediction, Heaven's Gate 1997. I've got more on that, so I got a clip we'll play in just a sec and talk about them shortly. But here we go. Heaven's Gate action.
When Comet Hale-Bopp appeared in 1997, rumors surfaced that an alien spacecraft was following the comet, covered up, of course, by NASA and the astronomical community. Though the claim was refuted by astronomers, and could be refuted by anyone with a good telescope, the rumors were publicized on Art Bell's paranormal radio talk show Coast to Coast AM. These claims inspired a San Diego UFO cult named Heaven's Gate to conclude that the world would end soon. The world did indeed end for 39 of the cult members, who committed suicide on March 26, 1997.
Yeah. So that's a damn shame, right? So the world did end for them because they committed suicide, because they were so convinced that the Comet Hale-Bopp was going to bring about the end of the world. And so I've got some more on that. So let's just jump to that real quick, because since I got it on deck. So let's talk about Comet Hale-Bopp and the Heaven's Gate. And I've got a clip. Let's play this clip. Let's go to Heaven's Gate and action.
According to the website, it means that Applewhite and Nettles are the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Income from the group's new computer consulting business, called Higher Source, enables them to rent this 9,000 square foot residence in an affluent neighborhood near San Diego. But former member Rio D'Angelo says the group's main focus was their impending suicide.
We felt really good, and now we had to prepare. So we knew that the exit was, at that time, imminent.
Applewhite says he is waiting for a sign from the next level, which will tell him when it is time for the group to leave the planet. Until then, his followers make preparations. They check their supply of phenobarbital, a powerful barbiturate, which can cause death when combined with alcohol. They purchased it in Mexico months earlier. They work out a suicide schedule, and they create uniforms.
We all had uniforms made for us, and we went out and got Nike sneakers on sale for $10.
D'Angelo designs the Heaven's Gate away team arm patches.
We were considered an away team, like from a spacecraft, like in Star Trek. The away team goes down to the planet, does what they have to do, and then they come back up.
December 1996. The newly discovered Hale-Bopp comet moves closer to the Earth. Applewhite announces to his followers that this is the sign he has been waiting for. He says the spaceships will soon be arriving to take them home to the level above human.
The reason that the comet was the indicator was that it was something that you could see anywhere in the world, and he felt that the next level would give him a sign in that way.
But shortly after Applewhite's declaration, D'Angelo starts having doubts.
I felt like there was something more that I needed to do. And it was confusing to me because I loved Doe and I loved the group.
With Applewhite's blessing, D'Angelo decides to leave. March 19th, 1997. In the backyard of their home, Heaven's Gate members videotape one another, issuing farewell messages to the world.
This is the happiest day of my life. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for so long.
Well, how about that? So this is the happiest day of his life. He's been waiting for the end of the world for so long. It's about to go down, right? So this was Heaven's Gate. So there was a quick little blurb there that I chopped out of some random TV show, but of course this ended in tragedy, right? So we have 39 members of the group that actually believed that Comet Hale-Bopp was going to come down from the heavens and pick them up and take them to some place that was above. What do you say? Above the human level, something like this, right? And so they went and bought their Nikes and their uniforms, their away teams. This whole right, you heard that? It's crazy. This stuff's just, like, it's insane. Like if you're so sure the world's going to end, why you got to be popping cyanide or whatever the hell they were drinking? You know what I mean? Please, guys, if you end up in a situation where it's like this, please just get out. Just run as far away as possible. Remember, this is my rule of thumb. If you run into people who have nothing but answers all the time, be afraid. Be very afraid, because life is full of questions, not answers. And so somebody seems to put it all together for you, and they're not glowing. I don't mean radioactively. I mean glowing, like in some sort of supernatural way. Run far away. Run far away. Okay. Anyway, so unfortunately, 39 people died in this Heaven's Gate bid. And here's the crazy part. Their website is still up. Here you go. I'm linking it. I was looking through. I'm like, what the? Really? Are you kidding? These 39 people killed themselves, and their website is still up. Comet Hale-Bopp. Yeah. I mean, what the hell, right? What the hell? Okay. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to link this, and you guys can check out the website. But I was a little bit shocked. Like they'll take us, they'll shadow ban us, right? We don't get the. I type in exact keywords on YouTube. You type those exact keywords, our videos don't come up, right? Shadow banned, right? This is a thing. This is a real thing. But these guys, 39 people dead, and their website is still up and running. What is this shit? Like, take this down, please. Somebody take this down, and like maybe forward to the Ministry of Truth with their Wikipedia, right, where they say that these people died and it was a shame and they didn't have to. Anyway, you get the point. What I'm saying. It's like all right, well, this is fine. Leave it up. Everything else, well, hey, if you got something maybe pertinent to say, something that maybe pokes at the technocratic bear a little bit too hard or a little bit too in the right spot, I think it dropped to the bottom of the index. Shadow banned. Yeah. What the hell? This shit's still up. Heavensgate.com. Check it out. It's still up. And I don't mean that like check it out and go down there. Don't go down that rabbit hole. There's rabbit holes. There's better rabbit holes. Okay. Anyway, so we got some more here. Let's read some more of these. How are we on time? There's some more. Let's see. We got some good comments too. Let's see. Tamron says, I think because Earth is hell and Christians want to go to heaven for eternal peace. Earth is hell? It's not that bad, is it? Larry says, a new heaven and a new earth, probably a manifestation of terraforming, as God is not in the habit of totally destroying his creations. I like that. Good, smart stuff. Sherry, drinking some something, huh? Cheers. Moscato with bubbles. Yes. Delicious. What's up, Paul? Thanks for showing up. Johnson, I'm drinking Guinness Blonde. Like I said, Guinness Blonde. That's what we're on tonight. Okay, so yeah, here we go. The story was crazy, right? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I remember as a kid. Yep, exactly. Okay, yeah, do call. Call with your take. Do it, Todd. 702-957-1037. We got tons of stuff to get to in a sec, and maybe some stuff that'll blow your mind tonight. Maybe some stuff where we're talking about the end of the world, right? We're talking about other people's takes on the end of the world, right? There's Heaven's Gate. We're going to get to Harold Camping in a sec. But there was, Nostradamus. There was Edgar Cayce. There was the Leeds 1806, the hen that was laying eggs that said Christ is coming. Like there's been all these things, right? There's been all these things. Halley's Comet Hale-Bopp, you name it, right? The Mormon bit. Dan did say that he was raised Mormon, and that's not how it went. So that story was obviously off, which is fine, right? Again, our sources are dubious because we get them from the internet, right? We get them from the propaganda cycle. So it doesn't surprise me that the stories are off, especially in a kind of a hit piece, because it was kind of a hit piece, right? It's kind of a hit piece on religious organizations, which is unnecessary unless, they're drinking Kool-Aid and killing lots of people. That's different. But okay, anyway. Yeah, do call. Here's the phone number, 702-957-1037. Go to troubleminds.org. That's the official website. Click on the Discord link. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do. The conversation continues there as we go. Even after the show, 24 hours a day. People live in different countries, right? We got Emin in the Philippines. What's up? Emin in the Philippines. And so even late at night, maybe early in the morning when you don't think people are normally awake, well, we have people in other countries. And so it might be the middle of the day for them. So you can kind of talk to people 24 hours a day there and share links and talk about these theories and whatever else. Join the Discord. Troubleminds.org. Click the Discord link on the top right. There you go. You're in. Easy peasy. It's free. And you meet lots of great people, so please do. And here's the thing. If we actually get shadow banned, or actually banned, not shadow banned, banned and taken down from, let's say, YouTube or wherever you normally watch us, the way to find out where we move to is the Discord. We'll announce it there, or on the website, troubleminds.org. So there we go. Anyway, join it. A lot of good stuff. Do call 702-957-1037, and I'm going to keep on trucking. Keep on talking about the end of the damn world. All right, here's a few more. Let's talk about this. This is top10s.net. And these top 10 lists are great because, little briefs of what's going on here, what's happening. I'm going to link it in the chat per usual, and you guys could check out the articles. But let's read a couple more of these, and then we'll move on to the meat of the situation tonight. At least I thought it was the most amazing, the most amazing end of the world theory yet, in my opinion. We'll get to that. That's coming. Saving the best for last. All right, here we go. So this one is number 10, reported by top10s.net, and this is again top 10 most famous doomsday prophecies that failed. And so, of course, you find this. You go to a search engine and you type doomsday prophecy fail. And bam, this is the stuff you get. Right. Again, shitting on religion, which, again, is unnecessary. Easy, guys. Just because some people are a little bit nuts doesn't mean everybody's religious is nuts. Relax. Okay, here we go. So the Jupiter effect, 1982. In 1982, two professional astrophysicists, John Gribben and Joseph Plageman, floated the idea that a rare alignment of all 9 planets in 1982 would create a combined gravitational pull that would place huge stresses on the planet's tectonic plates, causing killer earthquakes and severe changes in the Earth's climate. Now, I'm going to stop right there because I remember this. I was a little kid. I had a babysitter then. And I remember the babysitter telling me this. And I was like, what? Like, wait, what? No, come on, that can't be, really? Like, even then, I was a little shit. I was like, nah, come on. Like, you're the authority figure, and I say, fuck off. Right? No, but yeah, I was told this. I remember this, 1982, all right? Here we go. So the alignment of the planets would cause tectonic plates, causing killer earthquakes and severe changes in the Earth's climate. Okay, they wrote the book they wrote together called The Jupiter Effect. Caused quite a stir at the time, but after the alignment passed without incident, their professional reputation took quite a beating, obviously. There we go. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. All right, there we go. Anybody remember that? 1982? Anybody alive in 1982? Whippersnappers out there? Not even a twinkle in your parents' eye yet? Yeah, no, I was alive then. I'm old. All right, here we go. So here's another one. To Edgar Casey, like we said. Number 6, Edward Casey in the Battle of Armageddon, 1999. Remember that? Y2K, guys? We'll get to that in a sec. So here we go. While the noted psychic Edgar Casey, born 1877, passed away in 1945, while Edgar Casey made a number of dire Earth change predictions during the 1930s while in a trance state, hence his nickname, the Sleeping Prophet, which we've covered him way back in the day. If the Mediums show, and check that out, troubleminds.org, or go to the YouTube channel. Anyway, so the Sleeping Prophet that went either unrealized or their fulfillment is open to debate. It was his Bible-based doomsday predictions that are most disappointing. Possibly foreseeing the various catastrophic Earth changes that mentioned as a harbinger of the end, he unwisely implied that the epic battle of Armageddon and the second coming of Christ would occur in 1999. Which, despite being made almost half a century ago, still manages to sound very contemporary. Obviously, with these events failed to materialize on cue, it also made him as wrong as many of his contemporaries as well. Anyway, there we go. So there's another one. How about this? Remember the Y2K bug, guys? Remember this? The year 2000, right? Like, people have this fascination with round numbers, right? Like the year 2000, damn it, something crazy is going to happen, right? The Y2K bug. All the computers are going to spurg out. Remember that? You guys remember that? Yeah, what happened? Nothing. I won't read this, but you get it, right? You get it. And so maybe now, right? Maybe today, maybe just this second, We just passed into the year 2020, right? It's not just 120, it's 220s. Is there some sort of synchronicity there? Is there some sort of end of the world message we're missing in 2020? It's almost like binary, but not quite, right? Ones and zeros? No, we got twos and zeros. Is it some sort of maybe Skynet's taking over in 2020? Or is it just turn the page on the calendar? Who knows, right? Who knows? Anyway, all right, let's see. How much time we got? We're good. We're good on time. All right. So let's get to this next one. So that was Heaven's Gate. That was the Y2K bug, some of this other stuff, right? Like you can find this stuff. Everybody's always predicting the end, right? There's always, like I said, be wary of the guy who knows all the answers. It should be your probably number one red flag. It's not. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so anyway, just my friendly advice from Michael Strange. I don't know that that's the true answer, but I'm saying I suspect possibly, maybe. Is somebody telling you they have all the answers? You should be wary. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. Just to cover the bases there. All right, so here we go. So we had Heaven's Gate, right? Everybody remembers that. How about Harold Camping? You guys remember this guy? So he actually had this radio show. I used to listen to this guy once in a while, and he was fantastic. He was really good on the radio, right? He was one of those the soothsayer, right? He was like one of those the pastors that was good, like he was actually good on the radio. He'd have people call in. He had this thing called Open Forum where people would call in and they'd ask him about biblical interpretations and this sort of thing, right? He was good. I really enjoyed listening to him. And so Harold Camping, here we go, Family Radio. So I'm going to link him, Harold Camping, if you guys never heard of this guy. But he was on the radio, very good, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And here we go. Here's the link. Here's the guy. And so, all right, so he had, in the later part of his life, so he actually passed away at age 92. So he was up there, right? Spent a good long time preaching the word. God bless him. However, at a certain point, when he got, up around 90 years old, he thought that he figured out the Doomsday. You guys remember this? So let's see, here we go. The 2011 End Times Prediction. Here we go. Again, from the Ministry of Truth. It's good enough for this purpose because we're just talking about the different situations. So don't murder me for pulling up crappy sources. That's all we got is crappy sources these days. All right, so American Christian radio host Harold Camping stated that the rapture and judgment day would take place on May 21st, 2011. And at the end, the world would take place 5 months later on October 21st, 2011. Camping, who was then president of the Family Radio Christian Network, which is still up and rolling. There you go, familyradio.org. Let's see. He claimed the Bible as his source and said May 21st would be the date beyond the shadow of doubt. Camping suggested they would occur around at 6 p.m. local time, with the rapture sweeping the globe time zone by zone. Time zone by time zone. While some of his supporters claimed around 200 million people would be raptured. 200 million people raptured, approximately 3% of the world's population at the time. Camping had previously claimed that the rapture would occur in September 1994. So, you strike out once, you just fire off again, right? 94? Yeah, nope. 2011. Anyway, so obviously it didn't happen. Okay, it didn't happen. And so there we go. There's some of the more modern situations of doomsday, right? Like the end of the world. The end is coming. The sky is falling. Jesus is coming back, right? Israel is a thing now. Jesus is coming back. Remember that? Remember that when they re-recognized Israel as a country again? That was supposed to be the mark, right? That was the time. That was the situation from the Bible. That's when Jesus was coming back. People were prepared. So what happened? Did we do humans, as we do, misread prophecy? Or did Jesus come back and nobody noticed? How depressing would that be? Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So there's some hopefully entertaining musings from Michael Strange. We'll go to the chat here, and then we're going to move on to the meat and potatoes tonight. Yeah, that's right. I got some really good stuff. We're going to get into that in just a sec. Let's see. Todd, call in, please. Emmett says, end of the world is just a scam. They spin the Bible and use it for profit. There you go. That's a hot take. Sherry, ETs get sent here for punishment. Okay. There's a conversation going on between people that I'm not. What's up, Helen? How you doing? Why the time and date? Yeah, that's a good question for the end of the world. I don't know. That's a good question. Thanks for showing up, Helen. Let's see who else we got. Don't go recruiting here. Wait, who's recruiting here? Nobody's recruiting here. Sherry says everyone creates their own hell, and maybe I kind of agree with you there. Like manifesting, right? Yeah, we bring it to ourselves. Let's see. Tamara says I was 1 year old in 1982. Well, maybe you had a babysitter too. I was working for Self-Indulgent 82. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. 2020 disclosure, says Ash. Possibly, maybe. 2020, the end of the world, I tell you what. The aliens, they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for us. Dale, strangest strange. What's up, Dale? Thanks for showing up. Hey, did you get my message, man? I sent you a message on your website. I'm stalking you. I was like, hey, where's Dale been? I clicked on your thing. You had a website. I sent you a message on a website. That's why. That's why I said that the other day. So don't get creeped out when you see my message I sent you. Sent you a little email. Sherry says 50 becomes a goddess. So cool. All right, cool. Good for me. What's up, Kane? We were all too busy looking at our phones to notice, right? That Jesus came back, right? Is what you're saying? Yeah. Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah. Paul. Hey, the sky's falling. Hey, what's up, buddy? Evan says, I've been indoctrinated by these end times in high school. It's probably the reason why I get a shitty job now. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Okay, anyway, so here we go. So we're going to move on to the rest of this. As we do, though, we got, but another hour on deck-ish or so. But there's something that this has kind of been running around the internet for the last year or so, right? Maybe about a year. And it's troubling, right? Which lands here perfectly, Troubled Minds Radio. But this one, we'll get to that in a sec. So if you guys, if you have takes on any of this stuff so far, the end of times prophecies, like Emmon said there, the hot take is that they're spinning the Bible for profit. What do you think actually happening here? Do you think that we humans are just flawed and maybe there's signs that we're missing, or do you think it's just a bunch of horse shit, or somewhere in between? Right? Like all those takes are valid. I want to hear what you think. Do call 702-957-1037. I'm going to put this up, and you guys can. There you go. There's a phone number. So go to troubledminds.org, join the Discord, and you can be on the show that way as well. And what do you think so far? So we got some hot stuff coming about the end of the world and about maybe some situations that affect all of us. We're going to talk about that. But for the time being, right now, what do you think? What do you think so far? Do you think the end of the world's a bunch of hogwash, or do you think it's we're missing the signs? Do you think it's right around the corner? What do you think? Do you think 2020 brings us into a new era, maybe the age of Aquarius, or what's happening here? Like again, like we can get into a ton of that, and I don't know. if you're coming to me for answers, you're in the wrong place. I don't know. This stuff. I enjoy the hell out of it, but I don't have answers for you. So hopefully you have some answers for us. So do call 702-957-1037. You got a take on this? Maybe you're a biblical scholar in your spare time, and you got some takes on this, or maybe the Bible's wrong, you think, and it goes back to the Anunnaki, like some would say, and maybe the end times are really not as bad as it seems. Or maybe it's worse than it seems. I don't know. Again, what are the hot takes? Do call 702-957-1037. And yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see. Yep, cool. Thanks, Dale. Appreciate that. I was just looking for you. I noticed you weren't here, so I just wanted to know where you were. Okay, so let's see. Tamara says, it's not so difficult to live in peace when people around you are evil. Or it is difficult to live. It's really about going to a place of peace with other energies who are peaceful. Heaven, I suppose, is a place of only love and light, whatever it may look like. Okay, that's good. I like that. Great, Tamron. Thank you. Let's see. Who else got some good stuff? Johnson was 16 when the Y2K bug hit. Okay, or 15. Yeah, 15. Okay. So you guys remember this stuff, right? Like these things have happened in our lives, and we're like, wait a minute, like what the hell's actually going on here? Like there's it seems suspicious, right? We had the Y2K bug, right? We had the what did we have? Let's go to this one, which leads us into the conversation. Remember I brought up quantum immortality earlier. Remember we talked about that? Yeah. All right. We're going to get to that. Let's do that. Let's do that now. All right. Let's start with this. Does everybody remember this one? This is probably the most recent and like huge, widely reported, pertinent end of the world. Yeah. The Mayan calendar. You guys remember this? Here we go. All right. We got a call. We're going to take this call. So before we get into this, but I'm going to just, everybody remember the Mayan calendar, right? December 21st, 2012. Remember this? Yeah. We're going to get to that in just one moment, but we're going to take this phone call. So let's do that first. Good evening. You're on Troubled Minds with Michael Strange. Which first name are they calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Paul. It's Paul from New Hampshire.
Paul from New Hampshire. How are you, my man?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, Just talking about the end of the world.
Yeah, I know. I do. Yeah. So you guys talking about the end of the world. Cool subject. I love it. You know, I'm just kind of listening to what you got going on and talking about. It's kind of funny. You know, you said it. It's been over and over and over and over again. We've kind of been dragged into this position that eventually the world's going to end. You know, I can't say how it's going to happen or what's real or not, but I can tell you how I feel about it. If you want to hear about that.
Yeah, shoot.
You know,
Well, let me ask you before you start. Are you a religious man, Paul?
You know, I shouldn't say I'm religious. I'm anti-religious actually, but in that sense, it's not a bad thing. It was forced religion. I grew up in a family that I was forced to go to church, and then I eventually became spiritual. So I think there's a fine line between religion and spirituality. Is there a God? Is there many gods? I don't know. All I know is that, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. I don't follow written structure. I think that the Bible and all this and the books that were written are basically all the same. If you really look at it, I mean, it's a guideline for how to live your life.
Okay, perfect.
What's
perfect.
right
So,
and wrong.
So
and,
spiritual, no. Religious, yes. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with your hot take on the end of the world.
Yeah. So, at the end of the world, in a way, I think it kind of already happened. To be honest, I think, but in that sense, it's happened over and over again, and it's just kind of being a spiritual person, less than religious. When you look at the books and what gods have, or the people that are, writing this stuff down that, the gods told them to write down, are saying is that, if you don't do this, you're going to wind up dying, and, maybe you'll be lucky enough to live another life. It's so hard to explain, but I think that, it's kind of happened, and if you look at the science part of this, because, with everything we're talking about there's got to be some kind of scientific bottom line to look at, and we still need evidence when you're talking about, especially paranormal, and evidence is what's eventually going to prove all of this stuff. And when you look at it, it's already happened. You've seen these, massive civilizations that lived on this planet that were obviously highly advanced and intelligent, and were looking up to the sky at their gods, and whatever they might have been. I highly doubt that they were divine. They were probably more physical and extraterrestrial, like Sherry Monday likes to talk about. I do. There's a lot of us out there that kind of figured it out. So with that being said, yeah, I think it's just a cycle. And are we all going to die tomorrow? Highly doubtful. So,
okay.
I think it's a scare factor too,
Okay. So wait, so elaborate on, you say that the end of the world has already happened and it's a cycle. So you're saying that we've passed through, let's say we're about to get into the Mayan calendar in a little bit here. So you're saying that when that happened on that day, maybe the world did end as we knew it, right? Is that what you're saying? And that we kind of passed on.
I don't think the world ended at the Mayan calendar. That's a different story. I think they were looking at different gods that said, if you're actually studying the Mayans, you're going to get into the fact that they looked at this as it's the end of the world. It was the end of their calendar. They were just taught that, by a calendar, by beings that knew how the universe works and how stars work, and that our galaxy rotates against the other galaxies rather than we're living in a solar system. Our scientists figured out, okay, the sun revolves. Well, that's what they thought. The next thing you know, well, okay, all the planets revolve around the sun. So we're looking at a calendar year, and the Mayans never said the world was going to end in 2012. That was just the end of their calendar. It's Bakhtun. If you actually study the Mayans, you're going to learn that this was a rotation of the universe around, they were just studying where our planet was, and they even were. If you actually really study them, you're going to see that where the pyramids are, they knew where the planets were. They knew where the stars were. They knew what stars were up there, and that there were other beings coming from these planets, from other star systems. They were just way more advanced than we ever could imagine being. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at what they did with the buildings. They set these temples up to prove that. And it's black and white. When you look at this and you say, hey, how did they know how to set this pyramid and build it with these perfect blocks of stone? Mathematically, literally impossible. I mean, come on now. We can't even write in cursive anymore. Is that a sign of the end of the world? I don't think so. I think it's a sign of the beginning of the world. I think we're going to the next level.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So no,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm with you exactly. Like things change. Like Emin here says in chat, he says, and I think this is pertinent to what you're saying here. He says, end of the world is a bit exaggeration. Nothing is ever destroyed. For example, we may think the world is ending due to volcanic eruptions, but these magmas, when cooled, will eventually become new landforms. And I think that's exactly what we're saying here. Everything's cyclical, right?
That's a good point. Yes. I can't say whether or not that's it's just, I think it's a good way to look at things, that this is all natural. Volcanoes erupting, the weather patterns we're seeing now. Yes, I can't argue the fact that maybe we've accelerated the global warming factor going right now, and I'm saying that now with extreme confidence, because I live in the Northwest and I've lived in the Midwest and I've lived in different climates, and right now I'm working at a ski hill, and usually by now we're covered in snow and it's going nuts, and it's right now it feels like winter just started and it's almost February. So where I live now, we're looking at, it's, March is around the corner. I'm dying for March. Just as I said, I grew up in a different climate, so I don't like the cold crap. And
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
You know what I'm saying?
I live in Vegas for a reason, man. Hell yeah.
It's
too cold for me.
Right now. You got a place you can stay at? Let me know, man. I'm there. Because
right, you got it.
I do. I've been there. I do not the cold, and I've been here, and we've gone through winter after winter, and now it's been the last couple of years. But with that being said, too, I also grew up in the Midwest in Chicago, where it was so cold. Your eyeballs froze and your nose hairs popped off. And there were days when it was Christmas and you were playing basketball when I was a kid. So out in the driveway with no snow. It's a cycle? I don't know. I think it's a natural cycle. Maybe we've advanced that. End of the world. What are you talking about? If we're going to be hit by a comet right now, I'll tell you what, that's going to happen. And there's a reason we haven't. This planet's protected, whatever. That's all another totally different. At Armageddon, it would have happened. I don't know where to go from there on this, Mike.
All right, fair enough, man. I'll continue for you. We're going to talk about the Mayans.
It's a tough question, yeah, and I appreciate the get me to think about this, because it's a pretty cool thing too.
No problem, man. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you calling. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just let me say this. To you people out there that are worried about the end of the world happening, don't worry about it, because they ain't going to change shit. If it happens tomorrow, you're all fucked anyway. So at that point, whatever, take it with this ride, Hope you'll find a truck full of snowballs instead of Twinkies, whatever. Get a shotgun. Zombies can bite you. And with that being said, if you can figure out how to make a lightsaber, let me know how, because I want one too. So.
Okay, fair enough. Put me on that list as well.
Love you guys.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good night, man.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
All right. That's Paul from New Hampshire. New Hampshire UFO Hunter is his YouTube channel. So again, like, if you guys have channels and stuff, Twitters or whatever, I'm totally cool if you promote it. Just call in and say hi, and you can say follow my Twitter, whatever. We talk about this type of stuff. Perfect, right? Like again, it's part of the whole. We're together. We're a group. Like we talk about these things together, and we like doing a little bit of promotion is okay too. So if you got that, no problem, no sweat. Thank you for the call there, Paul. New Hampshire UFO Hunter. Appreciate it. And let's continue, shall we? I've got a couple good comments we're going to read. And again, so just like that, if you pick up the phone and you call, I will answer, and you will be on the show. And it's 702-957-1037. That's the Troubled Minds official hotline. Straight to Michael Strange. Showtime, Michael Strange. Here we go. So it's a Vegas area code, and if you don't like area codes, you can join the show by joining Discord. So I'm on Discord right now, and if you want to be on the Discord, you can do that. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. You're in. You are in. All right, let's read some of this. Now, this is I brought up just before Paul there called the Mayan calendar. Everybody remember this? This is the one that we were all probably a little bit in tune with this because it got a shit ton of media coverage. Right? They talked about what did they talk about? The end of the world. There's a whole lot of that, right? Media hype. Remember, NASA was putting out statements around that time saying that the end of the world wasn't coming, contrary to what Ancient Aliens was telling you on TV. The History Channel, whatever the offenders were out there saying, it's the end is here, the end of the world. And I feel fine. Yeah, everybody knows. Everybody knows this. All right, we're going to read some of this, and this is fantastic. All right, here we go. So this is reported by timeanddate.com. And this is, again, talking about calendars and talking about the end of the world and the Mayan calendar. So here we go. Link in this if you guys want to check it out. And here we go. All right, so let's put it up. All right, there we go. Okay, so did the Mayan calendar predict the end? Reported by timeanddate.com. And, of course, this is all out, like, published before, right, this December 21st, 2012, because that was the media hype. That was the hubbub. That's what was going on. Everybody was talking about it. It's the end. Well, let's see what these guys had to say. Let's let Microsoft mic read so Michael Strange can take a swig of beer and have a break here for his voice. Action. So this is the Mayan calendar. Did it predict the end? Let's see.
One theory suggests a galactic alignment which would create chaos on Earth because of the gravitational effect between the Sun and the black hole called Sagittarius A, which is located at the center of our galaxy. Another theory involves a polar shift, which means a reversal of the north and south magnetic poles. Scientists believe that the Earth is overdue for a geomagnetic reversal. However, this can take up to 5,000 years to complete and does not start on any particular date.
Okay, so there we go. So this is talking about theories, chaos on Earth, gravitational effects, the black hole Sagittarius A, pole shifts, which Ash had a bunch of stuff on tonight. We were going to talk about pole shifts, but we'll just talk about this instead. So now this starts with this. Did the Mayan calendar predict the end? And right, scientists believe that the Earth is overdue for a geomagnetic reversal. Pole shift is moving. This is happening. We won't get too much into that. But it is happening. This is one of those things, right? So, however, this can take up to 5,000 years to complete, and it does not start on any particular date, it says. Okay, so here we go. So this is just a new beginning. NASA scientists have thoroughly studied and analyzed the possibility of the Earth ending in 2012, and have concluded that the 21st of December 2012 will be nothing more than a normal December solstice. There is simply no scientific evidence to support any claims of an apocalypse on Earth on December 21st, 2012. And like I said, you remember they were doing these things. They were actually putting out these statements because people were, at least they thought people were getting agitated. Maybe we're not that agitated, and maybe we were laughing at them. But they were putting out official statements around that time. If you guys remember the news cycles back then? Yeah, they've changed so much. It was only 2012, but they've changed so much. But okay, here we go. This will continue, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is fantastic. Okay, so NASA scientists, blah, 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 blah. So in response to the theories, there were no planetary alignments happening, and NASA said no. The end of the world, no, not happening. 2012, Mayan calendar, no. All right, here we go. So then this continues. The Maya what is this? .edu. This is an actual, what is this? An actual school, an actual educational, whatever's going on here. and website, and they're talking about the Mayan calendar here. So December 21st, 2012 marks the end of an important cycle in the Mayan long count calendar, which we've all heard this, right? The cycle is composed of 13 periods called Baktun, and that's exactly what Paul from New Hampshire said. And the Baktun, right, which is 144,000 days. The 13 Baktun cycle began on the long count calendar and spans 5,125.366 solar years. So 5,125 years, there's your long count. And that's what it is, right? December 21st, 2012, right? This says there's no evidence in these inscriptions or any other record that the ancient Maya thought that the long count calendar would imply some kind of catastrophe, some end. These predictions are unfounded and are not shared by the Maya people today. Well, the Maya people today are not the Maya people of yesteryear. Just saying. But okay, so this is an official source, the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian, and yeah, there you go. Take that for whatever it's worth. All right, so there we go. So not happening. All right, not happening. Okay. However, now listen to this. Now this shit hopefully will blow your mind. It blew mine. All right, here we go. So here's a bizarre thing that happened in the year 2012. So it was not December 21st when this happened, as far as we're aware. First off, before I say this, does anybody remember that moment, December 21st, 2012? What were you doing that day? And can you remember? I can remember exactly what I was doing. And I had this weird moment where I thought, oh shit, this is it. I've said it before on the show. But I was actually helping I was working for a particular company in California. And it was one of those like mom and pop type places where the owners would be like, hey, we need help. My daughter's moving, type of shit, right? And so they'd use voluntary labor. They'd pay you, of course, but they'd use their employees to do stuff like this, which doesn't really happen in major corporations that I'm aware of. But anyway, so I was helping the boss's daughter move on that day. And so it was supposed to be a day off because it was a couple days before Christmas. We mostly have the week off, whatever it was, right? But I wasn't supposed to be up early that morning because I volunteered to do it because, whatever, it's overtime pay or whatever the hell was going on. So I did it. But I go out and it's early in the morning and I step outside and I look and the sun, I'm telling you, looks bizarre. It looked like it was a solstice sun, but it looked like nothing I've ever seen in my life. It was difficult to explain. I wish I took a picture because, right, it's only burned in my brain, but that's where I was. And I was like, holy shit, maybe this is it. It was like that moment where all this is hogwash, BS, yada, yada. It's just hype and BS. But then in that instant, when I saw that sun that looked unlike any other sun I've ever seen in my life, I have to say, I was like, shit, here it comes. Here it comes. And of course it didn't. Well, or did it? All right. So what else happened in 2012? Again, so go back to where were you on that day? And did you notice anything particular or peculiar or interesting, or did you not notice anything at all? Do you think it just kind of came and went and that was that, right? What happened? What happened to you that day? All right. So anyway, this is reported by math.columbia.edu. All right. All right. Check this out. Do you remember in the year 2012, this is reported June 22nd, 2012, the Higgs boson was discovered. Do you remember this? Particle accelerators. And this is the announcement of July 4th, 2012. They were going to give an update on this search for the Higgs boson. Remember what the Higgs boson is? Yeah. The God particle, right? All right. Let's check this out. Let's see what what's his name has to say about Bill Nye the Science Guy has to say about the God particle. Let's play this and then we'll continue. So 2012, right? All the hype about the end of the world. Okay. Well, we discovered the Higgs boson in 2012. And what's interesting about that? We'll get to that in a sec. But let's hear what Bill Nye has to say about the Higgs. Go.
It may mean we'd be able to unlock limitless energy. Let me just put it that way. It may be that we would understand the next secret of the universe, that we'd be another step closer to knowing where we came from. We'd be another step closer to understanding the universe itself, which is ultimately quite a mystery to us.
What is this Higgs boson God particle?
At the very, very beginning of the universe. See, people here, as a matter of fact, I'm in Los Angeles. People at Mount Wilson, not far from here, notably Edwin Hubble, noticed that all the stars, everything's moving apart. So he reasoned that everything was all together at one time, and this would be the Big Bang. Well, at that time, it is speculated by mathematical, elegant physical reasoning that everything was kind of one thing. But then after the Big Bang, things started to separate. Things started to take on different properties. So that pure energy, like light, has no mass. The particles of light have no mass. The particles that make up you and me, like you've probably heard of protons and neutrons and electrons, they have mass. And do you know why?
No.
No one really is sure why. But it could very well be that there's an exchange of particles. Nowadays, we view these things as particles. We do experiments to detect particles, and you detect particles. Protons are made of quarks, which are held together with gluons. No kidding. And so it could be, it's very reasonable that these other particles all exist in this ether that would be called, named after Peter Higgs.
Right.
That is then infused with little particles that give them mass, that help them have mass. And this would be the Higgs boson.
Okay, so this is the Higgs field, right? The Higgs boson, and so it's like just like our favorite guy, Bill Nye, the science guy, said, it ends up, they call it the God particle because there's a Higgs field based on this particle that takes things that have no mass and gives them mass. You see, so it kind of creates something from nothing, right? For lack of a better term, for lack of me not being a scientist, all right? So it takes something with no mass and turns it into something with mass, okay? And so it creates something out of nothing, right? Okay. So this was, remember, this was discovered in 2012. That's right, 2012. So they announced July 4th, matter of fact, 2012. Odd synchronicity, maybe. The 4th of July. The year, it was all supposed to end, according to many sources. And, the Mayan calendar, long count, Bach tunes, all that. Okay, anyway, so here we go. So the Higgs boson was discovered, and they announced it July 4th, 2012. All right? So here we go. Now, let's get to the God particle, simply explained. Here we go. So atom smasher, they smash it together, they get smaller and smaller, right? Here we go. I'm going to read this. If the atom smasher can create the Higgs boson and it gives mass to the matter produced by the atom smasher, then the Higgs singlet, the matter with mass, will be able to travel through space and time. The Higgs singlet can travel to other dimensions and then come back to our dimension backwards or forward in time, claim physicists. So, Thomas Weller and Chui Man Ho are the guys that did this. Chui Man Ho. Sorry if I butchered that. So Professor Thomas Weller says that this way of time travel using the God particle will avoid time paradoxes. He claims that if the scientists will be able to control the production of Higgs singlets, they will be able to send messages into the future or the past. Okay, so with the discovery of this God particle, the Higgs boson, time travel will be possible. And also will be in our reach, not only in theory, et cetera, so on. All right, so there we go. So the Higgs boson is it reaches into the past and the future. And, of course, then it reaches into other dimensions, doesn't it? So here we go. So Stephen Hawking, going to the Higgs boson, says that Stephen Hawking, everybody remembers him, one of the most most famous theoretical physicists, of course. After the discovery of the Higgs boson, this particle will be responsible. Okay, I'm going to read that slowly. Stephen Hawking said after the discovery of Higgs boson that this particle will be responsible for the destruction of the universe as we know it, as it was responsible for its creation. So, a doomsday? Maybe. Joseph Liken, a physicist of the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory in Batavia, Illinois, said during one of his lectures that can take billions of years for something like this to happen. Okay. But it could already be happening, he says. Okay, anyway, so you get the point. So Stephen Hawking says it's possible that if we discover the Higgs boson, it will bring about the end of the universe. Right? Yeah. All right. So anyway, here we go. Let's go to this, newscientist.com. Proof celebrations as Higgs boson is finally discovered. Reported July 4th, 2012. July 4th, 2012. All right. You guys ready for this? So what if I told you that in 2012, when they discovered the Higgs boson, that the world did end, indeed? That there was some sort of, what would you call it? Some sort of the end of things, the end. The transitionary period happened. And we all collectively moved where we are, from where we were to where we are. You follow what I'm saying here? Okay. So 2012, the Higgs boson, the guard particle, was discovered. Is it possible that the world ended, the universe ended, and we somehow slipped into another dimension, another time frame, where we collectively, our collective consciousness, moved along, slid into another reality, because our old one simply died? And back to that quantum immortality, it kind of states, in one way or another, that consciousness does not die. It simply slips into another state. So is that possible? Here we go. Let's read some of this. Reported by newscientist.com, and this is July 4th, 2012. The 4th of July, 2012, right? Big boom. 4th of July. Fireworks. Bam, right? You see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm getting at? All right. Let's continue. Let's continue, shall we? What's up, King Norcallion? I see you there on Twitch. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, all right. So here we go. So did the world end in 2012 with the discovery of the Higgs boson, which was known and then and still as the God particle? And if that's the case, how is that possible? So here we go. I just want to show you that article. New Scientist reported July 4th, 2012. Right? 4th of July, 2012. Big fireworks. All right. Here we go. So here's what Hawking said about the Higgs field and how it could wipe out the universe. Here we go. Now this is critically important to the entire story here. Stephen Hawking is, Hawking, like many other experts in the field, believes that one day a change in the universe's energy state could cause the universe to undergo catastrophic vacuum decay. Say that one more time. Stephen Hawking believes that one day a change in the universe's energy state could cause the universe to undergo catastrophic vacuum decay, whereby a vacuum bubble expanding at the speed of light plows through space, destroying everything in its path. Right? So that begs the question. Let's say when they found the God particle, they opened up this catastrophic vacuum decay, whereby you snapped your fingers and at the speed of light, our universe on Earth ended. And we somehow spun off into another timeline, dimension, what would you call it? Our consciousness moved. Anyway, so we'll continue. Using data collected at CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, physicists were able to measure the value of the Higgs boson mass, which was found to be approximately 125 giga-electron volts, or 125 billion electron volts. This precise mass is required to maintain the universe at the verge of instability, or a metastable state. But if this state collapses, the universe will become unstable, triggering a catastrophic event. So anyway, right, you get my point. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's possible that maybe the world did end in 2012, and somehow, finding the God particle, on the 4th of July they announced this, in 2012, with synchronicity? The biggest fireworks show ever in the history of the universe? I don't know. That sounds crazy, right? That sounds crazy. Okay, so so we got people talking in the chat about what it looked like on that day, on December 21st, 2012. So here's the thing. So what happens is, physicists believe that the energy state of the Higgs field may be slowly changing over time. Currently, it exists comfortably at a minimum potential energy, blah, blah, blah. Science, right? Science. Basically, by discovering the Higgs and opening up this particle, which we didn't know existed at the time. That's right. Stephen Hawking said the universe could undergo catastrophic vacuum decay, which would happen in less than the snap of a finger, and that would be that. It would be like opening up a black hole in the center of the planet, right? So, okay, let us continue, shall we? All right, so here we go. Now back to daminteresting.com. And remember this. What's up, Larry? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for showing up. Now here's the thing. Right? So this is the premise of the argument of the thing here. And this is a shout out. He probably doesn't listen. Big radio host Clyde Lewis pointed this out, and an individual by the name of what's his name here? What's his name? Let me find this guy. He's actually started this thread here. His name is Nick Hinton. Okay, and I'll link this as we get to that a little bit later on. But here we go. So, did the universe expire? Did it end in 2012? We discovered the God particle, Higgs boson, which Stephen Hawking famously said could start some sort of actual catastrophic decay. All right, back to quantum immortality. Check this out. The theory of quantum mechanics describes a tiny realm completely foreign to the one we observe normally. At quantum levels, matter exists simultaneously as particles and waves. Wave-particle duality, which if you go back, we did that one in the we did quite a bit on wave-particle duality back in the show, talking about the living in a simulation. So check that out if you're not familiar. But this continues. A particle's position and momentum cannot be precisely known at the same time, which is the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and the state of two objects can be intertwined regardless of the physical distance between them. Quantum entanglement, right? So we have a bunch of things at play here that they defy ordinary physics. That's why it's quantum mechanics. It becomes something entirely different. Niels Bohr, one of the fathers of quantum mechanics, once said, "Anyone who is not shocked by quantum theory has not understood it." Yeah. All right. So there we go. And back to quantum immortality. Meaning that, remember, consciousness does not die. It only moves on to another form, right? That's like, so if you go back and you talk about, what is it? It would be, what would it be? It would be like reincarnation is what I'm looking for, right? It would be this sort of thing where when our life expires, we become something else. And it could be other life, or as we know it, or it could become other life as we don't understand it, right? It could become something else entirely. And so this is for abbreviation's sake, quantum immortality. Here we go. In such a way is the argument for quantum immortality made. Some say that regardless of the cause of death, if the many worlds interpretation is true, then there will always be at least one branch where the miraculous survival scenario is realized. And they talk about putting a gun to your head, pulling trigger. Don't do that. Nobody do that. But they're saying if there's, let's say, unlimited U's and unlimited worlds that are slightly different or even identical, that pulling the trigger when the gun's to your head it doesn't go off, right? In many worlds, it does, and you die. But in some, that gun doesn't go off and you live. And so that consciousness, somehow, through quantum entanglement, in all of the multiverse, is still entangled to you. That consciousness is still you in all of those places. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. So, of course, the odds are overwhelmingly against the possibility of anyone in this universe being the miraculous survivor. Although the whole idea is wildly speculative, quantum immortality violates no known laws of physics. There we go. Well, we got this call. We're going to take this call, and then we're going to do this. What's up? Larry from Oklahoma. You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I was hoping you'd join us tonight. We were talking about Revelation and some stuff a little earlier about the end of the world. How you feeling about that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's in there. But I just got to hang out with a bunch of my friends from Ada, Oklahoma, and I didn't get to tune in tonight because I was hanging out with them. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey man, but, you're loud. Yeah, you're loud. It's okay. Thanks for showing up now. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we hit the bar and we was doing a little drinking. I was just going to show them that like on this podcast we're getting to the bottom of things. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. I don't share your optimism, but at least we have questions. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think between all of us, we bring up a lot of good points, and I think that man, I think you're doing a good job. You're doing good work. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
sure.
I hope so. I hope so. That's the goal. The goal is to do a good job, and at the very, very least, tell a good story, right? Hopefully, we can have a beer and have a good time. That's right. There's so many places where you can't even do that anymore. So hopefully, we can do that together, and that's at the very base of things. Maybe we're doing that. So I appreciate it. But let me ask you this. So have you heard of this theory where the world possibly ended in 2012? The discovery of the Higgs boson was a God particle. They announced it on July 4th. 2012, right? With all that hubbub about the Mayan calendar and the end of the world happening in 2012, July 4th, 2012, it was actually announced. So, like I said, the largest fireworks show in history maybe ended the universe that day. Have you ever heard of that? What do you think about that?
Man, that's a different one. I've personally never heard that, but I can say that that's definitely what they would want you to think. I heard a scientist say this one time. I believe I was watching. Hold on, I'll get out of here real quick. I believe that this one scientist was actually really true on this. He said that there's 3 different dimensions happening at one time, and there's one time where you're making a good choice, one time where you're making a bad choice, and one time when you're making like a neutral choice. I don't think the world's ended, man. I mean, we're each in our own reality. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. To be
all right, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to continue to make the case here.
I've had too much to drink to answer that.
That's all right. That's all right. Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to continue to make the case here. So anything else, real quick, on Revelation, the end of the world, before we move on with the show here?
No, brother. I'm just keep watching and keep reading, guys.
There you go. I appreciate it.
That's it.
Right. Say hi to your friends for us. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I just mainly wanted to say what's up and see how it was going. But
going good.
I think I might have 3 extra people joining. It'll be Jacob, Travis, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she'll probably tune in too.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for spreading the word. And if you guys, Jacob, Travis, and the lady friend show up, we'd love to have you. So shout out to them. Shout out to Larry. Thank you from Oklahoma. I hope you had a good night.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. I'm going to make the case.
All right.
If you, go back and listen to the
I'll
archive.
watch the rest of the video too.
Okay, perfect.
I'll watch the rest of the video.
Perfect, my man. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Thanks for tuning in. And here goes. The world ended in 2012. Thanks, man. Larry from Oklahoma. There you go. Okay, so remember, quantum immortality, right? So let's say that quantum entanglement exists, and it goes through dimensions. It goes through the multiverse, and the different versions of you are entangled through this consciousness. It's a multiverse consciousness. And so with that said, you don't die, you move to a different state, right? Your consciousness moves to a different state. And so the argument here is that happened on July 4th or somewhere thereabouts when they actually discovered the Higgs particle and the Higgs field, the God particle. And it did, as Stephen Hawking predicted, end the world. And we just somehow spun off into another timeline. Here we go. So livescience.com. This is the article talking about Stephen Hawking. It says the God particle could wipe out the universe. Here we go. Paste in this. And here we go. We're gonna make the case here on some of this and why this might make sense. All right, let's roll through this real quick. So, blah, blah, blah. Right now, the Higgs field is in blah, blah. Okay, too much. There's too much here to read because we're running out a little bit of time. So there's no timeline, but just want to make sure we don't do like a 5-hour show here because then I'll just you end up too many beers in and making no sense. You follow me? I'm only on 3. Okay, so here's how Hawking describes the Higgs doomsday scenario. The Higgs potential has a worrisome feature that it might become metastable. at energies above 100 billion giga electron volts, right? This can mean that the universe could undergo catastrophic vacuum decay with a bubble of the true vacuum expanding at the speed of light. Okay. Catastrophic vacuum decay with a bubble of the true vacuum expanding at the speed of light. I'll say that again. Right? So that would mean if they did, with a Hadron Collider, they pop these little tiny particles and discover this God particle, that this would happen at the speed of light, and it would snap your fingers and we would be done before we knew it. We wouldn't have time to consider life and death. We would have already spun off through quantum immortality to another timeline, assuming that's the case, right? Quantum mechanics is a wonderful thing. Okay, and so this continues. This could happen at any time, and we wouldn't see it coming. There we go. Did I link that? Yeah, I linked that. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Yeah. All right, let's see. Kelly says, my question is, why is there an extra day added every 4 years? Why not every other year? Hey, man, you're asking questions I can't answer, man. That's above my pay grade. Great one, though. Okay, here we go. So this continues. NationalGeographic.com. Check this out. All right. You're fine, Larry. No sweat. Thanks for calling in. Okay. Represent. All right, here we go. National Geographic. Are we living in a black hole? Our universe may reside within a vast black hole. All right, so let's see. Talking about rewind all the way to the beginning, before galaxies arose 13.8 billion years ago. Many physicists say there is no before that. There's no time before the Big Bang, they say, right? Time began ticking, they insist, at the instant of the Big Bang, and pondering anything earlier isn't in the realm of science. We'll never understand what pre-Big Bang was like, or what was formed of, or why it exploded to create our universe. Such notions are beyond human understanding, they say. But a few unconventional scientists disagree. These physicists theorize that a moment before the Big Bang, all the mass energy of the nascent universe was compacted into an incredibly dense, yet finite speck. Let's call it the seed of a new universe. I heard you guys saying that, seed. This seed is thought to have been almost unimaginably tiny, possibly trillions of times smaller than any particle humans have been able to observe, and yet it's a particle that can spark the production of every other particle, not to mention every galaxy, solar system, planet in person. And so what sparks that? What sparks that? Is that the God particle? Is that what happens when the seed, the galactic, the universal seed is so tiny and it becomes everything? Is that the God particle? And what happens when you collide particles in a particle accelerator, and maybe you get to that level and you open one up? What happens? Does it create an entirely new universe? Is that what happens? Yeah, right? And the article ends. If you really want to call something the God particle, the seed seems an ideal fit, doesn't it? Yeah. How was the seed created? One idea bandied for several years, notably by Nikodem Poplawski of the University of New Haven, is that the seed of our universe was forged in the ultimate kiln, likely the most extreme environment at all, inside a black hole. Multiverses, black holes, Large Hadron Collider. We end up snap your fingers and we're dead in an instant. I don't know. Crazy stuff. Let's see. Okay, Thomas What's Up says because seasons and astronomical events do not repeat in a whole number of days calendars. Answering the leap year question there. Calendars have the same number of days in each year, drift over time with respect to the event that the year is supposed to track. By inserting, also called intercalculating, an additional day or a month into the year, the drift can be corrected. There you go, from the Wikipedia. Okay, so no, size does matter, Dale. Size matters. That's the motion of the ocean. All right, here we go. So this continues. This gets better, right? Okay, so everybody's heard of the Mandela effect, yes? Now check this out. Now this is crazy. This gets crazier, all right? So this is knowyourmeme.com, and it's talking about the Mandela effect, right? We've talked about this a little bit. We haven't actually dug into this in a huge manner yet. We might soon. We might do an entire show on the Mandela effect, because the situations that call this into effect, the Mandela effect, are countless, it seems. Anyway, here we go. The Mandela effect refers to a phenomenon in which a large number of people share false memories of past events, referred to as confabulation in psychiatry. Some have speculated that the memories are caused by parallel universes spilling into our own, while others explain the phenomenon as a failure of collective memory. Interesting, right? So it's got the origin here. I did link it if you guys want to check it out. So it says it spread. Look when this spread. On August 23rd, 2012, a post titled "Berenstein Bears: Are We Living in Our Own Parallel Universe" was published on the blog The Wood Between Worlds, which described widespread memory of the children's books being Berenstein Bears as Berenstein, like Berenstain, like a stain on the carpet. Berenstain instead of Stein, Stein, explaining the false memory. The result was an alternative reality spilling into our own. Does anybody remember that? Mandela effect? So how do you spell Berenstein Bears? Is it that's how we say it, right? It's not the Berenstain Bears, it's the Berenstein Bears. Stein or Stain? Well, if you go and look, it's actually Stain. But do we remember it the other way? And if we do, this was 2012 when this post originated. August 23rd, 2012. Is there some sort of, what would you call it? Maybe the world did end. Maybe the universe ended that day, and we became collectively somewhere else. I don't know. That's crazy, right? So the Mandela effect, of course, is it points to Nelson Mandela. Here we go. There's more on this. Here we go. So this is that's the Montauk experiment. There's all kinds of shit here. It goes on and on. This goes on and on. Hold on. We're not there yet. Here we go. So there's the Mandela effect. I got more here. Let me find the Mandela effect. Has anybody had one of those glitch in the matrix types moments where you remembered something one way and then it turns out it's not that way at all? Anybody remember that stuff? Anybody had that happen? Yeah, it happens, right? It happens. Here we go. Let's read some of this. Now, this is the actual thread itself by Nick Hinton, I believe is his name. And this is where he talks about how around 2012, things started changing, right? We have this Mandela effect and different ways, different things happening here. For example, here's the Berenstain Bears, right? And the Berenstein Bears. There's one example. In fact, there are people out there who are reporting small differences in this reality and the one they remember before 2012. This is a phenomenon often returns in Mandela effect. Some people remember Febreze. These are brands, right? F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E rather than F-E-B-R-E-Z-E. But it's actually the latter, F-E-B-R-E-Z-E, right? That's how it is now. Right here, you can see it on the screen. I've linked it. You guys can check it out yourself. How about Skechers is another one? How does Skechers spelled? Close your eyes, think. Skechers itself. Is it S-K-E-T-C-H-E-R-S or is it without the T? Just Skechers. And how long has it been like that? How long does it? Yeah. How about Looney Tunes? There's another one. L-O-O-N-E-Y, right? Tunes. T-U-N-E-S. Or was it T-O-O-N-S? Looney Tunes. How about JCPenney? J-C-P-E-N-N-E-Y. Or was it just J-C-P-E-N-N-Y? Close your eyes and think back to your childhood when you went to JCPenney or watched Looney Tunes. How was it spelled? Yeah. Is it just a trick? Is this just a parlor trick? I don't know. All right, so the name comes from Nelson Mandela, the Nelson effect, who many people believe to have died in prison in the 80s. However, to many people's surprise, his funeral was national news in 2013, and he had lived a long and happy life. Remember that? Nelson Mandela? Yeah. Crazy stuff, right? Here we go. More on this thread. Mandela effects gets much creepier, though. Some people remember the Statue of Liberty being in a totally different location. That location being Ellis Island. It's actually on Liberty Island. Here's a painting. Check this out. Here's a painting of the Statue of Liberty, not on Liberty Island. It's on Ellis Island. So what is this? Just an artist misrepresentation? Or has something moved? Has something changed? Has something in our collective subconscious that we remember the timeline before 2012 and we're living in a different parallel universe that's slightly different, that's almost the same, right? And so that would mean, let's say the world ends. Let's do the Antichrist Satan thing. That would mean Obama was the president. There you go. funny, right? I thought it was funny. Thinking about this, I was like, wait a minute. So if all this snaps the biblical prophecy into effect in 2012, holy shit, we got our characters. We got the guys. We got the bad guys. We figured it out. No, all right. So this continues, though. If that's not enough, if you go on Google Maps Street View, there's a few specific areas of Liberty Island where the Statue of Liberty is just gone. Google Maps. Yeah, there it is. Pictures. I linked the thread. Check it out. This is the case to be made here, that somehow, some way in 2012, the God particle was discovered in a particle collider and brought about the end of the universe. As a result, quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics, and quantum immortality, we all died in less than the snap of a finger, except we didn't know it. We just moved over into a different part of the universe, the omniverse. Anyway, this is really good stuff here. Really good stuff here. Do check this out. There's tons and tons of information on this. And if you've never heard of this, that maybe the world ended in 2012, and maybe the Mayans were right, and maybe moving into this new cycle, this new Baktun, this age of Aquarius, as it were, maybe this happened, and we would never know, because like Stephen Hawking said, it would happen at the speed of light, right? So if they cracked open a new universe and a new Big Bang started right here on Earth, it would be snap your fingers and we would never know it. I don't know. I don't know. Evan wants to know, are we going to talk about why the little green man logo is not green? That's a hell of a one right there. I don't know. John says, look up the one about the explosion in New Jersey that caused a lot of destruction in New York City. And the Statue of Liberty, that one was crazy. Yeah, there's a ton here. There's a lot. Probably more than we can get to in one show, but we'll get back to this. This is crazy, right? So think about it. Tamara, what's up? Says, I read a story where a woman woke up in her house, but her life was different. Her fiance didn't exist, her pet was different, and her job didn't exist, right? So what is this? Is this alternate timelines? If that's the case, do we pass away and wake up in another timeline? Does that quantum entanglement and that quantum immortality actually go through the multiverse? And are there many versions of us? Right? Is it why we have false memories collectively, they say, at the Mandela effect? I don't know. This stuff is nuts, right? I was reading this and I was like, oh, holy shit. Holy shit. Dale says time traveling can change timelines. And there it is. Fred says, so do I need to go to work on Monday or not? I would say probably if you enjoy the paycheck. But you know what I mean? Like this is where we're at. 2012, the God particle announced the 4th of July. Think about the synchronicity of that. The largest Big Bang in history announced on the 4th of July. Whew. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy, right? It's crazy. Let's see. Paul says it always has been Looney Tunes. Toons. No, look it up. It's Tunes. It's all inside out. What's up, Rolf? Thanks for showing up, buddy. The Twilight Zone. And we live in the upside down. Now think about it, right? Okay, so let's entertain the thought for a minute and think back. Think back to your childhood. Think back any time before 2012. And how clear are those memories? And has anything changed or felt different after 2012? Well, I can tell you something. Donald Trump got elected president, right? Where prior to 2012, nobody in the world would have predicted that, right? Or very few anyway. Like there seems to be a lot of things, like we always talk about, we're on the upside down, right? Maybe we didn't used to be. Maybe things were more normal. Maybe it's us growing and learning. Maybe, just maybe, we're here in a new place, in a new realm, in a new part of the multiverse. And that's why things seem so backwards and different and upside down. I don't know. It's a hell of a theory. And the more you look into it, the more, you like I said, you can do that Mandela effect over and over and over again. And there's some things that really make you scratch your head and wonder, like, did I really remember that differently, or has it been different all along? I think that's crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. What's up, Ralph? Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know, right? Like, we here we are in the new, right? So if the age of Aquarius happened, if this thing changed from one Baktun to another, going back to the Mayan calendar, maybe it was a time of change. And maybe it was think about it this way. If you have a catastrophe so large and so swift, it can't be quantified because it's less than a snap of a finger. It happens at light speed. Did it even happen at all? I think maybe that's probably the question here about the end of the world. And what do you think? What do you think about 2012? You think maybe things changed? You think maybe they didn't? Look at the media now versus the media then, right? Look at all of the things that are so different in just a few years span here. It's really unbelievable. It is the upside down. It is the upside down. Yeah, there we go. So Tamron says, then would deja vu be a false memory? I don't know. I think it might be a real memory then, right? Where it somehow doesn't coordinate, let's say, quantum mechanically with where you actually are. The time space that you're in is remembering time space that you were in. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't have answers here. Kind of making the argument a little bit. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? This is crazy stuff. What do you guys think? Again, a few minutes for you. We're at the end of this, but there's more. Like we could do another hour on this. It continues. Read that thread. I'm going to link it one more time. Check it out and look at the things. Look at the examples that are cited. Right. And again, go back to quantum immortality. Go back to quantum entanglement. Go back to the many universe theory, string theory. Go back to these and think. Right. And then go back to like Buddhism and these things. And okay, so when you pass, consciousness doesn't, it becomes something else, right? That energy somehow finds somewhere to go. And if it's not a new life in this universe, is it possibly a new life in another universe? Maybe a new you. Maybe the same you that you never knew was there. Yeah, anyway, crazy, right? Crazy. Anyway, I did link it. Check it out. The thread is amazing. And the thought, I don't know. I think you get. I don't think you get more thought provoking than that, in my opinion. It's pretty crazy stuff here. Sherry, what's up? Says January 18. We're in the root of chakra, guided by timelessness, frequency, vibration is an 8. White Galactic Dog Tribe Day, January 18th. Okay, what is the 18th? Is that coming up? Yep, that's tomorrow. That's today. Today, tomorrow. What's up, Drew? Says deja vu is when you're in the same time and space as you are in a different dimension at the same time. There you go. See. So maybe there's something to this quantum entanglement. Maybe there's something to these multi-universe theory where we share the same consciousness through dimensions and through the multiverse, through string theory. Yeah, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Larry says, thought the Mayan calendar was to show the end of an age. Well, think about that. So if the universe ended and we turned into a different universe, like our collective consciousness shifted, then that's certainly the end of an age, isn't it? It works. It fits. The Higgs boson, the God particle, was discovered in 2012. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Dale wants to know, was Frank a glitch in the Matrix? That's a hell of a statement. I have no idea. If anybody knows that one, I'd love to know. Philip says, I don't think time travel could be possible because look at it like this. I go back in time to change something where once you change it, you never need to go back to change it, so you wouldn't ever have gone back in the future to change the past. It all ends up like that. I don't know, though, because if you do and you change it, you don't come back to where you started. You're in a new reality, right? So you change it, and the new reality is where you are. And it, of course, wouldn't be that, the sci-fi term when you go to sci-fi movies is the time-space continuum, right? So you spin off into another something. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Lots to think about, right? Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah. Philip says if he was the best glitch ever. Yeah, Frank was something else. Okay, Frank is something else. I'm sure he still exists out there in some part of the multiverse. So, think about that. Does that make you happy? Somewhere out there, Frank is still doing Trouble Minds Radio. There you go. How does that make you feel? Okay. Anyway, we're at the end of this. If you guys have thoughts on this, I got a couple minutes for you. We can talk about this. If not, then that's the end of the world. Well, it's not really the end of the world. It's just the end of the show. But we can continue to talk about the end of the world as the show goes on. Hopefully, this was a little better than the last one, the uninspired BS. This is a little bit different. I had a lot of fun tonight, and thanks for hanging out. I know it's a long show, all that good stuff. We do have a few minutes. Do call 702-957-1037. What are your thoughts on this? How do we end up where we're at from where we were? And if the where we were was the end of the age, and the end of the age meant a new Big Bang that started right here on Earth. Yeah. Oh boy, I tell you what. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? You follow me? Did I make sense? Did that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully the entire thing made sense here. Because maybe the end of the world isn't what we think it is. I guess that's the whole point here. And maybe it turns our mind towards some places and some things in the universe that may not be so obvious. So anyway, there we go. So, do call 702-957-1037. We're going to take this phone call coming in right now. But yeah, the end of the world, right? The end of the world. The end of the world. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We got one call coming in. We're going to take this, and then we'll end this. And then we will end this. We'll put this out of its misery. What's up? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where did it come from?
Hey, Mike, it's Joe, the funeral director.
Joe! How you doing? Joe from Florida. How are you, my man? Thanks for calling.
I'm currently driving home from the club. It's like 2:30 in the morning here, and I just caught the ass end of the Mandela effect. So, kind of curious because I had a couple of things happen to me, and one of them was I play ice hockey. Well, I used to till I hurt my knee. But I played ice hockey down here in Florida, of all places, since like 1993. And it was the same group of guys. I used to stay with a bunch of Canadian guys. And I don't accurately remember, but there was a time lapse where it was one day I was playing goalie for these guys, and a couple of weeks go by, and I show up to play hockey again. And there's another group of guys there that apparently know me, but I don't really know them. And it's been the strangest fucking thing. And like those guys still live here. And like I know them now. They're like, oh hey Gambino, blah blah blah. I'm like, and I never made a big deal about it because it was like in the mid '90s, late '90s. But those guys I still play hockey with. But it was like one day they were there, well one day they weren't there, and the next day they were, and it was totally fucking awkward.
And so wait, so those guys that you saw, did they ever come back? Did they ever show up? So they stayed, right?
Yeah,
they stayed in your area. You've seen them since then.
They stayed in my life, and they're still in my area. And I've got a knee injury, so I haven't skated. But it was like a whole other branch of life and friends and people that apparently knew me, but I didn't really know them. And I show up one day and they're like, hey, everybody's talking to me. I'm like, I don't even know your fucking name. It's like, what the hell, So there's that. And then, like, I tell you on the show sometimes my wife thinks I'm nuts, but the biggest thing with the Mandela effect is the Berenstain or Berenstein Bears.
Right, exactly.
And, my daughter's 8. We got the books. And my wife looks at me and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I told you, it's Berenstain. She goes, no, we've all remembered it as Berenstein. And that's the way we remember it. Or like you said, Looney Tunes. But, alluding to deja vu, and I've said this before, a buddy of mine believes in this. The Big Bang, whether it's just in this dimension or there's a multiverse, if we're living in the shadow of that Big Bang, then that means everything happened already. And we're living in that past. And once in a while, we all might get a glimpse of that. Or we might see things this way or see things that way, and maybe they're blending in. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of there's a lot of interesting threads that I'll read at night about that. Like people will say, I saw a Corvette and it was green, and I looked over and the Corvette was red. Shit like that I think we all experience it. We may not always notice it. I think some of it's false memories, but there is something else there that we just can't touch. I think that we don't have the perception to see it. And like, when you get into all of that, there's theories that like cats, like people have cats, a cat will show up and a cat will disappear. And you can go on a thread for that forever. That people think cats can travel in and out of, different timelines or whatever that bullshit is.
Yeah, like they're called familiar spirits, cats. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's been calling in or not. I'm a little bit. I really, honestly, and I'm driving home across the bridge right now, and I'm like, you have the show on Friday, and I always miss it because I go out on Friday nights. You should try to go out and party. But it was funny because I'm in the parking lot talking to this guy that he's the parking attendant, and we're talking about a show, like another conspiracy theory show, and I was like, bringing up this show, and I'm like, oh, this show's on now, but I usually miss it. I got in the car, and you're still on, so I'm like, let me call in.
Hell yeah, brother.
But
Hell yeah.
it's just, you see stuff like shadow people. All of those things are those things that are bleeding in from another dimension. Another thing that I like to think about is, if what do you call it, the particle accelerator, the hadron collider, if that did do something, there's a lot of curiosities with that because there's a video out there, I think, of the Pope giving a service, and I guess where he's giving the service, I don't think it's in the Vatican, but the place is shaped like a snake's head, and there's a depiction of Jesus overcoming evil, but it looks like it's Jesus coming from hell, and again, it's the upside down. Like you said, it's the upside down. And who the hell are we? We're just people that get up, we go about our lives, and we do what we can.
And,
science again, just science far outpaces what ethics does, and who the hell knows what they have out there. But 2012, the God particle, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? There you go. I'm glad you followed that. I'm glad it made some sense. But yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think we've all experienced deja vu or those types of things where we misremembered, right? Like we blame it on ourselves as the situation of, oh, well, I must remember that wrong. But go back and look. The Berenstain Bears, STAIN, go look. Did you ever remember it as that? No, hell no.
There's Jif. There's Jif and Jiffy. Is it Jif peanut butter or is it Jiffy? The one that I love is like, I think some people swear that Sinbad had a
Blue Genie, right? A Genie movie.
Yeah, it was like a Genie movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's supposedly Shaq.
It never happened.
It
never happened.
But here's the thing. It never happened. But, we can't take ourselves that seriously. In the end, we all got to go to work. We all got to do our shit. That stuff I love. I mean, I love that stuff. Like literally, I'll go I'll go with my wife. We'll go out dancing. Right? We'll be at the club or something. And I'm like, I know these people. I'm like, hey, Hill, what's their name? And she's like, what do you mean you don't know their name? She's like, they're your friends. How do you not know your friend's name? And I'm like, I don't fucking pay attention. And a lot of times, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, I'm sure none of it's paying attention. Like ADD and out. Me, I see so many families, I forget their names. What I do, like literally in front of a crowd, I got to grab a prayer card, and I got to see their name. I'm like, who are these people? Like, I know them, but I don't know them, but I just met them. A lot of it is, I don't think we pay attention, but a lot of it is, there's something else to it. If mathematically they can prove there's a multiverse, whether it's a matrix or it's a computer thing, who the hell knows? I saw a great meme this week. It says the reason why we sleep is because the computer that processes us doesn't have enough processing power so that we all stay awake at the same time. I thought it was hysterical.
How about that?
But I thought it was genius. It was genius. It was hysterical, but it was genius at the same time. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe we have to sleep because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if not, I don't know. That UFOs and all that stuff, but the Mandela effect is a really, really deep rabbit hole that I don't. You can't put your finger on it. You just can't. And I think everybody who listens to the show has experienced something. I mean, aside from the obvious proof that's out there, commercial, like as you were saying, Ellis Island, that's a new one to me, but that particle accelerator, Who the hell knows if they're opening up a mini wormhole?
That would be that. That would be that. Exactly. Exactly. Here's what we'll do in the future too. We got to do one on just the Mandela effect. At least do like a nice big segment where we go over. There's tons of these examples too. And again, like think back to your go look this up on your own, guys. If you're not familiar, the Mandela effect, and look at some of these things. Like another one is the fruit of the loom, right? There's fruit on the tag, right? But there's a cornucopia, right? Yep. There's like so is there or is there not the cornucopia?
I remember the cornucopia because I remember the commercials. They were all dressed up like fucking fruits and vegetables or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there was a cornucopia on the tag.
Nope. Apparently.
No. I mean, I'm not wearing fruit of the loom right now to check, and I'm driving. So.
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, all right. I know. There you go. Perfect. Do me a favor. Drive home safely the rest of the way. Okay. Yeah, we need you in one piece.
I'm already across the bridge. I got to feel like literally I'm off tomorrow, and I'm literally driving by the cemetery that I got to be at tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, but anyway, it's my Friday night. This is what I do. I go out, I go clubbing, I come home. So,
Joe.
But yes, thank you. I will let you guys go. Thanks for taking the call. I didn't know. It's a good way to end the night, and salute and salutations to everybody that's listening. I'll catch up with you in the future.
Thank you very much. Have a great night. Have a great night, Joe. You're the best.
Bye-bye.
There it is. Simple as that, right? You call in, you get on the show. That's Joe from Florida. He's our our resident mortuary guy, a funeral director. Anyway, there we go. So we're at the end of this. Like I said, you call into the show, you can be on the show, just like that. As simple as that. And what do you think? I think in the end, what is with the Mandela effect? I'm killing the phone lines now. So what is with the Mandela effect? Is this the thing? Is this 2012 the world ended? You think this is the thing? Look it up. I've linked the things. I'll link all the things in the show per usual. And how does it make you feel? Is it possible that we move in and out of these timelines seamlessly together, and the world around us changes ever so slightly? I think that's the shtick. That's the question. That's the big mind bender at this point. And hopefully we did it justice. There's a lot more out there. We'll continue this conversation like we normally do. But we're going to end this. Thanks for all the calls tonight. Thanks for all the information. Thanks for sticking with us. No, it's a long show, but here we go. We're done. This is it. You know what's up. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And we'll be back on Tuesday night, 1 hour earlier, 8 p.m. Pacific, be 11 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to go 1 hour earlier on Tuesday. And then next Friday, I'm traveling. We will have no show. So we'll be Tuesday, 1 hour earlier, Friday, no show. Following Tuesday, 1 hour earlier, back to the regularly scheduled program. So there we go. That's what's going on. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the calls. Thanks for all the chat. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the thumbs ups. Thanks for the reviews. Thanks for the encouragement. Thanks for having a beer with me and having a good time. You guys are the best. And yeah. So for now, we're all together in this timeline. Hopefully it stays and doesn't get more upside down than this. Because I tell you what, I don't know if I can take it. All right. And to end it, Troubled Minds Radio, Michael Strange, from my troubled mind to yours. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, guys.
Hey.